I'm Doug Russell. No, you can't take those runs with you. One night after the Brewers beat the Mariners 22-0, they give up 7 runs in the first 2 innings of Game 2 to Seattle. That's all the crew would get, but it was enough. 7-5, the final score. Seattle with the win. Dustin May, his worst outing as a Brewer. He was responsible for all of the damage, but thinks it was a command issue as much as anything.
There was a lot of stuff that I could have executed better. This is one of those outings where, you can't be super frustrated with yourself just because you didn't really give up any hard contact on stuff. So, you were still beating guys, but they were just putting it where we marked tonight.
Today at 1:10, it's the rubber game of the series. Robert Gasser will pitch for Milwaukee against Seattle's George Kirby. The loss didn't cost the Brewers, though. The Cubs lose to the White Sox 3-0. Milwaukee's lead in the division is still 4.5 games. And the Packers travel to Denver today ahead of Friday's preseason game number 2. Kickoff is at 8. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down, guys, and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, be hand, see puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
You are looking live at a trio of somewhat tired but enthusiastic dudes. We call the show The Huddle. Drew, Billy, Armen. Thursday's hitting different this week, boys. Usually I got spring in my up now. Maybe it's because the Brewers lost.
Yeah, I also think it has something to do with the Dustin May appearance. That might take a little wind out of your sails. No, we still love you, Dustin May. We still love you. We don't love 7 runs in the first 2 innings. But, definitely a little slower here on this Friday, Junior. 1 day away from Packers and Broncos. 1 day away from apparently more Jordan Love playing. So a little bit of wind in the sails. But, Drew, your boy had an absolute war with the snooze button this morning.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And a 12-round fight. Now, sadly for the snooze button, I'm prime Mike Tyson when it ultimately comes up to it. I will win the war. But I was taking some absolute body blows. And it was a difficult one to wake up here this morning. I'm glad that I wasn't the only one.
Yeah,
begs the question.
Get an early knockout round. Sometimes
begs the question. What does the alarm on your phone sound like?
Actually, I have no alarm, no sound.
No sound?
Mine is just the hardcore vibration from mostly just the last 3 years having the kids within the earshot. I had to train myself to just figure up on that vibration. And it's also basically attached to my body.
Oh, I guess
still.
the watch, yeah.
No, I mean the phone. I am where I'll hold my hand and it's probably still touching one of the last 3 digits on my hand.
Yeah, you have
just because
a lot.
I gotta keep that thing on me. I keep that thing on me as a 32-year-old that's now grown up and developed with it.
You keep the charger, and I've always wondered how you charge, when you charge your phone, Billy, because usually it's not on your person, but you just leave the charger hooked up and then on the phone of the person. I've always wondered that about your phone situation because it feels like you would have it.
I'm glad. I'm glad that I enter your thought process that much.
No, concerned.
So how I do it is there's a small charging station next to my bed with a phone charger that has a cord,
right?
And then I plug that one in,
and you just keep
it hanging out right there.
And I realized the reason I wonder is because my phone is too old where the chargers barely connect. Now you know how that always happens.
You got to wrap it around and bend it one side way.
Because in my world, for like probably over a year now, I haven't been able to just charge a phone connection, like leave it wherever. It's got to be like balanced the right way or like on a platform charger or something like that. So I guess that makes a lot of sense because I'm always like, man, when does Billy's phone get charged? Because my man's always ready to go with some more content on there, which is impressive, but I appreciate that. The vibration thing would make me nervous if that's all I was counting on to wake me up. Like then I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. But so I have, to answer your question, Drew, I have the regular bum 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 bum. I think the Samsung alarm, I don't know, whatever it is. It just, and then I like have that little moment every time it goes off where I'm like, that's not real. That's fake. Like
that's
Tiffany
AI.
Gomes,
That can't happen.
Like Tiffany Gomes. That is not real. That is not real in the back of the plane. Then I realized, oh, it is real. This is my life. I have to get up now and go. And that's the reality of it.
Oh,
I crawl around looking for a shirt and then we go.
Crawl around.
Basically, well, in the dark. I don't want to fall too much.
Mine is like a series of musical notes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a general
nice little timer that wakes you up.
Yeah.
Sparks up the day.
Yeah, my wife's like, she doesn't even know. She's like, I don't even know what it is. She's like, I'm semi-aware of it, but not really.
Well,
Does she wake up to it?
And I don't know if you guys are the same way, but when me and my wife first started dating, she was working far earlier than I was. No, she was starting and opening around like 6:15.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She was up early.
Sure.
I was working nights at the time. Now, your boy went actually snoozing rather much a bear, right? Like for that 3 hours where it's going to be hard down, it's going to be hard to wake me up in any regard. So I rarely would ever hear anything, but you stomping around, lights flipping on, bang around, different things. I feel like at this point, like not necessarily like pots and pans, but you may be potentially getting some things fired up.
Like your dad would do in the weekends. So like everybody get up.
Or like when I was in my mid-20s living in the basement, and I swear my dad had cinder blocks on his feet, especially after he knew that there was a triple cripple Thursday at Club 400. Where like you feel like I got the flashlight on, just trying to tiptoe around.
Yeah, I do the same.
You're being considerate. Yeah.
You feel there might be almost like a little bit of a difference, but you try so hard. And then I realized they probably aren't waking up for much.
When you visit your parents, you will realize my buddy just went through this. Like, Pops would get up 6 a.m., start unloading the dishwasher as loudly as possible.
Just to get everyone up and at
pots,
him.
pans,
Bang,
bang, just as loudly as possible. Like if I'm up, everybody else is
is meeting.
And
No doubt about it.
And it's like, you're sleeping at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm sleeping too late like a bum. So it's like, I better get up and get going here, because then they're going to be like, Armen, why were you sleeping so late? And then I'm like, oh man,
I just sleep till 7.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But coffee's been ready.
But see, I used to be a night owl before we did this shift. Like, and I used to work, like you said, Billy, different shifts, afternoon, late, guys, we've all done that. So I used to be a night owl. So I was like slamming away at the 1 a.m. Seinfeld on TBS,
Most of my life has been as a second shift worker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I was, covering sports and being at games, and I'm like, it's 3 to midnight. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need a couple hours to unwind and your day expands that way. It doesn't expand the other way. You don't get up earlier and go to bed right after work.
That doesn't happen. No,
that doesn't happen.
Which was great timing to hit the bar. Then bar
time,
well,
that's the thing. Yeah. That was my much of my beat career happened with my wife and say youngster at home, or just even my wife at home. It's like, well, she's already asleep. I can be home by 11 o'clock. And sit up until 1, or I can go have a couple of pops at
and then
Left Lucky Town, and then go home.
Yes, 100%.
So the timing didn't change.
That is my favorite when we get the questions of so what's the morning show like? Well, it's a little bit different compared to where we have all been at different stages of life, where you laughed at the thought of wait a second, the only time I'm be up at 4 a.m. is for a flight. Yeah. Now we get to take flight with you and, basically ascend into the stratosphere over the next couple of hours. And it's definitely a different realm. Yep. If it wasn't for kids, Drew, I mean, there's a very good chance that Pat Murphy would be right, though, in that intro, and that there'll be times where I'd just be up all night. Hanging out all night, rolling right on in here.
Playing video games, rolling around.
Spin the
clock.
See if
I can find my alarm here. This is I think this is
my young radio career. They used to tell me, oh, Armen, you just spin the clock.
Oh, see, I like that.
I like that.
And
it
that's
like we're ready for a documentary.
No, see, but that's the nice ease in
Yeah,
the ramp up, which I hear is a very important deal in the wake up deal.
Daybreak.
That sounds like the audio version of the physical of you're slowly getting into the hot tub without jumping in too hot, but you're
climbing up. See,
you're easing in.
Well, that's why
the audio version.
That's
of
why
easing
the sound is called, the alarm is called daybreak.
Daybreak. Take a little break. Daybreak.
So day is breaking at 4 a.m. or whenever we get up.
I could figure mine out if you want, but it's probably not as exciting. I do.
Armen, you're just lucky that we keep you in the group chat. You're the only guy that's not an Apple guy, and you're
That's very true. Yes,
I've heard that
very
a lot.
true.
Then again, I
have
heard
a few friends like that.
I hear that a lot about my primary group chats. I have about four of them. Yeah, I'm a troglodyte. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm a knuckle dragger. But I do hear that about my group chats. Like, Armen, we're green because of you, or the green bubble. However, I'm usually the one providing some content, so I think it's a trade-off. Then again, people don't probably want that content.
The question,
like, Armen, stop texting us.
There
you don't have to respond to everything.
There might be an element of that. You're not the most egregious, though. There are some people who are just, it's agonizing being in the reply all in the group chat that you don't want to be part of. And
appreciate that. I've worked on that. Thank you. I've worked on that.
You've shown more restraint recently.
Oh, you have no idea how much I've worked on that.
I know. I believe it. But okay, let me ask you this. Do you set more than one alarm? Because that's the other thing. I do that, and it's dumb because I set it in one, like the snooze is like 10. I think I have it set for 10 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next alarm comes right behind it. And sometimes I'll wake up and I'm looking at my phone, like, what happened last night? What am I walking into?
Yeah.
And then in that period between the alarms, and if I forget to turn off the second alarm, then it's like, oh, bleep, I got to get up now.
Now it's rolling through.
And
mine all have
different. I don't
different.
need the second alarm, but I kind of need it.
Yeah, I need it too because
mostly to get out of bed and stop looking at the phone.
It tells me, hey, buddy, let's go. Look at that time. Because mine are also all different. Have different titles, right? So the first one is
nice.
Well, yeah,
like get your ass up.
The first one is, hey, wake up. Right, that fires up around 3:45. Get yourself in here. Hey. The very last one is get the bleep out of bed or you will be late and you will get fired. Like that is actually in all caps, just as much of a line, just to allow yourself to.
That's amazing.
Sweet. I guess that's it. I guess that's actually it. And now, sadly, the one time that I got close to missing it, this was when it was 6 to 10, just for kicks with Armen and Billy on No BS. What was this? Maybe November. It was pretty quickly after we had transitioned.
Okay. I'm trying to remember all that.
And Armen was just, taking a deep breath, hanging out, sitting there. And I got the tap on the shoulder from my wife as she came down from, putting the little one back down. It's about 5:48, 5:50. And she goes, hey, aren't you supposed to be at work? And I rolled over, looked at it and realized, yeah. So I grabbed my phone. I didn't grab my keys. I didn't change my shirt. I walked straight over to the car, walked down. Go. And we walked in here probably about 35 seconds before we started. And I looked over at Armen. I'm like, you don't understand how close you were to doing that whole show by yourself. Baby. You don't understand how close you were to doing that whole thing by yourself. But
that's
hey,
my moment.
When it fires in, we're ready to roll.
You know what's funny about it is, with this shift, you do worry about that more. And in theory, it shouldn't be any different than any other one. You get up at a certain time, whatever. But man, I always, not as much now as I'm older, but always had a paranoia of sleeping in the morning show. So because of that, I could never get to bed. But to answer your question, because of that, Drew, I set 4 alarms. Now, I've never gone past number 2, but that's good. That's a place I don't want to be. So I do set multiple alarms. But then it's like, you don't want to know you had those alarms because it acts like a snooze button. And then it's like, I'm more worried about, I try not to wake up Laura before I leave, but it's always, then we've had to establish some rules like, Armen, have your keys downstairs. Not on your dresser so they don't jangle while you're getting up because then I get up. And it's like, okay, that's another thing. But 4 alarms is the way I go. And I used to make fun of the multiple alarm people because I used to just tell myself, well, you're already making excuses. Are you going to?
Oh, I like that.
You know what
yes.
I mean? Like, are you going to get up or not? Like that, those alarms are just there for you to snooze. So, but I understand now they're all fail safes. You want to make sure.
877-794-1973. What we've done today is formed a support group for people in the 5 o'clock club.
Yes. And Jess Man's the first one in. Yeah.
There are 2 types of people in the 5 o'clock club. People who are willingly awake at this hour.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
We call them the early risers, the insomniacs, and the sociopaths waiting for the health club to open. And then there are people who have to be up at this hour. which is us.
Which is 98.9% of the rest.
That's the rest of us. Yeah.
5 o'clock club. Jess Man was
I'm
the
up
first
to
one
some
in.
Jess Man.
Number 99. I don't think he's ever been number 1 in the 5 o'clock club. So
Love
congrats.
it. Well, Statman Steve gets up to photograph sunrises, and that's what he's into. He's a photographer, and that's okay. Well, that's
There you go.
He's a 5 o'clock clubber by choice.
That's it right there.
That's your alarm?
That's it.
That's your alarm?
Yeah. Good or bad? I think that's just
sounds like the
standard-
ice cream truck.
Music box?
The what?
I don't have an alarm clock. I've got a music box. I open it up, and this little ballerina spinning around.
It does actually. You're right. Sounds like a ballerina. It sounds like a music box.
And Armen in a tutu pops up out of the top and starts dancing.
Right.
Gosh, can you imagine the sales on that? All right, sorry. Back to the
Big sales.
show.
Now, if you want to talk about something that could get put into action, don't tempt people around the state of Wisconsin of an Armen Sarian music box.
Yeah, but Statman Steve does it by choice. It's part of his craft, right? He's
Yeah.
got to get up for golden hour.
Well,
He likes it. Yeah, golden hour.
Yeah, I guess golden hour.
I was going to say there's 2 golden hours, right? The
Yeah.
afternoon and in the morning sunrise. We had at Carroll University in my freshman year, Drew, during some, a little bit of construction and renovation that they were doing on the gym, and realizing that you're in there whenever they tell you that you have the 35 minutes to be able to use the weight room or use the gym. Our 6 a.m. workout group turned into the 5 a.m. workout group my freshman year. That was the most consistently early I had woken up at. And there were 35, 40 of us. Ended up being 35, 40 of our best friends. Like really a good group that we had. A fun time. The hike over from the dorm over to the weight room there at 4:30 in the morning was always a character building moment. But there would be that one psychopath. And I remember my buddy Gianni. This dude would wake up an hour and a half to 2 hours before the 5 a.m. workout.
Jeez.
Simply to start getting the process going, right? Like, now I don't know how many of the people that are listening to us getting rolling and are waiting outside of the YMCA. And he's actually the guy I think of whenever you say the sociopaths waiting outside of the YMCA in the little vestibule, waiting for them to unlock the second door. He'd wake up like 2 hours early to get a little bit of the pre-workout going. He always had to get in like 3 or 4 games of Call of Duty to really get the blood flow, get the heart pumping. It was one of the most craziest things that I've ever seen. As I'm hating every bit of my life, this dude is in full swing. He's just wanted to get up and wanted to get the day rolling, wanted to get it started, wanted to get it sparked up. And there are a few folks like that. I generally would laugh at that type of enthusiasm and excitement to be up this early, but it is commendable. Like that is one thing where you do meet somebody that just says, all I need to do is Mac Hollins it, get my bare feet on the turf outside and see that sunrise. That's willpower that I just wish I had. And maybe at some point in my life, I will get to that maturity level.
Well, you have gotten to the point where you've embraced the sunrise. When we started doing that shift, Billy,
Yeah,
you got
started looking at
way
it.
into the sunrises. Remember, you had to make sure you caught it during the break and all that stuff.
I got to actually start timing that up again.
Well, because now the sun,
yeah.
it's later and later. Obviously, we're past 6 a.m. sunrise. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that was always interesting to me.
Well,
people that
now,
would get up
and-
for the pre-workout. I knew a guy that got up 1 a.m. for a morning show. I'm like, well, what's the point? Just spin the clock and then go to bed after the show.
I was going to say, just less ground.
I don't really understand exactly. But pull less. Right.
Now, Drew, I've seen a little bit of the universal time that people are coming up with. Is this your full universal time that there was some rumblings and maturations of, or is it kind of a spin-off bad version of it?
I'm not sure which you're referring to.
I've seen some different thoughts on it online, but as to where the if daylight savings got just eliminated across the states, not the same as yours of every.
I don't think so. No,
on the same
my
timeline.
thing is a global universal time.
Global universal time. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Drew's been on that.
I like that one actually a lot better than
the
just trying to
global
do it in the
universal
States.
time gets rid of time zones. There's none of this.
All the way around.
You wouldn't say
basically, yeah.
it's 6 o'clock on the West Coast and 9 o'clock on the East Coast because it would be the same. We
It would just be
refer
6
to it as
o'clock.
the same time.
It was an
It
interesting
would
idea.
we would pick we would shift everybody to where anywhere in the world that's what time it is.
It sure would.
And it might seem upside down, and you might have to go with a 24-hour like clock kind of or something.
Sure.
So, hey, the Brewers
roll into military time. Yeah.
Brewers are playing the Mariners today at 14:30. And then, okay, so it's 14:30 everywhere in the world at the same time.
I'll be honest with you, it would make planning a lot easier. It would
That's the theory behind it.
It would make the cross.
The theory behind it would
timing
be
a lot
like
easier.
conference calls. My wife does a lot of business with people overseas. And
Sure.
she's on the phone with people overseas, and sometimes, oh well, sorry, well we have to call. It's your morning, my night. But for everybody, it's 14 or it's 17 or it's the same time.
And we know when the wake window is going to ultimately.
And when I suggested this, people freaked out, and we had a long discussion about it. And Armen was part of this.
Yeah, I remember this.
But people were like, I don't want to eat breakfast at 8 at night. Like, well, it would still be morning, but it would just be we randomly. People don't realize that this construct of time that we have is only like 150 years old or something like that. So it's like, well, why wouldn't it just be?
It wouldn't be fully breaking
by the sundial, but it's like you would just have to wrap your brain around instead of like.
I think that's the toughest part for people.
School starts at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. for kids. Like it might start at 15.
Right.
Or whatever it might be.
Wrapping your brain around what it is.
It's not going to change your life.
Right.
It's just the same.
The way you
people,
call
I think couldn't handle it. Just blows people's minds.
I think at some point we would become like roundabouts where ultimately people would figure it out. Right. At some point, you'd figure it out.
Yeah, but there'd be a lot of ugly starts. There'd be a lot of
consternation there in the middle.
It would be a bloody process to get there, but we would eventually get there.
Yeah. Well, and like, are they going to punt to daylight saving? Probably not this year.
I don't know. I didn't see. And again, this is what happens when stream of consciousness. But I'm doing the Carry the G Radio, the podcast with my friend Aaron Nagler today. Man, I struggle with one time zone of Eastern time to Central time.
Exactly.
And
it's 1 hour.
And if you talk to people on the East Coast, you believe that is American time.
Yeah.
Right. Like that everybody in America would just go off what their clock is and then adjust and do your own math. Right. It's like, why don't you work around what everybody else does? So luckily that one's dropping later on this afternoon. If folks are looking for something to ease the time and pass the time as you wait for Packers and Broncos coming up later on.
Yeah.
What a segment. I love this one.
Yep.
That was fun.
Farms, time zones.
This is what it was coordinated universal time.
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
universal coordinate. Universal
Of course,
time.
we can't do
UTC.
We can't get this whole world of humanity to do the same thing.
How about that? What if you lived in isn't there Indiana? Like part of it has daylight saving time, part of it doesn't.
Yes.
So have two time zones in a state.
They keep Chicagoland in Central Time.
And
basically.
again, I'm going to the Upper Peninsula next week for a bachelor party. Very excited for that one. I'm probably going to be the sleeping guy in the bachelor party, but that's fine. There's also a casino there. The UP should be Wisconsin. We've all known that, and we all agree on that. But the state of Michigan is over here. The UP is over here. Tell me why the UP is on Eastern time while the rest of the state of Michigan is on Eastern time. And I got to do my dang math to be able to figure out when we're supposed to be there. I almost was late. It's a week away. I was struggling with that kind of
As we've said before, the UP should be the traveling trophy in the Packers Lions series. We play for the rights to the UP every year,
and they just put it on a big big plaque. And you just
UP
run
is now
over
Wisconsin for this year. Yes, you plant the flag.
Hourglass.
Great. Now we're going.
Yeah.
All right. 877-794-1973. Brewers did lose last night. Ugly start by Dustin May. Bullpen held. They chipped away, fell short. But there was one interesting aspect of last night's game, and we're going to discuss it as it relates to the Brewers' postseason projections and hopes and dreams. We will do that.
Man, that was tough.
Be ready for hardcore.
Ooh.
Talk. And we'll have Hunter's recap of the proceedings last night, and we'll talk to Hunter today at 7:25. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube for all of our 5 o'clock club members. Starting to wake up a little bit. Caffeine starting to take effect.
It really does start figuring almost as a tidal wave takes a surfer from the deep water all the way through. And right as the beat drops, it does feel like every single break, the caffeine gets a little bit further and further. And then all of a sudden, it's able to send you right into the 6 o'clock hour and you're running.
That was good, William.
Armen just hit that DJ drop.
I was hoping that we were getting there close. I was running out of different parts of things to say to each other.
No, the kids want the beat to drop so they can buy $28 vodka Red Bulls.
Let's go. Absolutely.
Yeah, my friends, I got a table over here. We're good.
Hey, over here.
We're good.
To the left.
No, these guys here, all in the white collared shirts, hanging out.
You think they're popping my collar?
It depends on the era. Depends on maybe they are these days. I don't know.
I hope they are.
Brewers lose 7-5 last night. They're down 7 runs after the 2 innings.
Baseball gods got us back.
Dustin May. Yeah, maybe. An element of that. But it was one of those things where the Brewers have followed this formula before. They're down early. Bullpen holds where it is. They chip away. The woodpecker thing.
They pecked at us. They pecked us.
Well, and when the Brewers were down, they came back. Joey Ortiz.
Scrap throughout.
Mr. RBI.
He's been crazy. He's been amazing. This guy's
4 RBI for Joey Ortiz, providing most of the offense. All right. But then undercurrent. Well, so it's Dustin May. Give him a mulligan. Not a great start. Didn't have great control. Just the first inning, even like it's just something felt off. Maybe it's a hangover from scoring 22 runs.
Well, and Dustin May has been somewhat susceptible to that this year. When he's blown up, it's been in that kind of fashion, right? Where it's a very, very short start. You can't control seemingly anything.
Yeah, that first inning, those 2 runs scored before you realize what happened. Like Terang had that spinning play that he usually makes. It didn't go their way.
And he made the
you
point.
Walk back in, you're like, wait a second, it's 2-0 already.
Yeah. He made the point that a lot of the contact wasn't necessarily hard.
It wasn't.
It was solid hits and stuff.
Death by paper cut.
It was
Nerf
a lot
bats kind of bloopers and stuff, but
a lot of Brewers type stuff to be honest.
Brewersy. Yeah. So, but the bigger question is, as the Brewers were chipping away and had chances, there were a couple of circumstances where Cooper Pratt came up with a chance to do some damage, and Luis Lara came up with a chance to do some damage. Lara had the 3-pitch strikeout,
which looked about as disappointing as a 3-pitch strikeout. Like it sounds bad and it looked bad in that respect.
That's bad. But then Pratt's circumstances where he was in a hitter's count and missed pitches and didn't
that was a
deliver.
bummer. Yeah.
So was that the reason they lost? No. Could it have changed the game? Sure. Those moments. Every game's full of moments like that. We talk about the butterfly effect, but the greater question is, you're counting on rookies to play big roles. And as you project and start to think about the playoffs, can you count on Cooper Pratt and Luis Lara to not do what they did last night? They've been hot. They've been great for the most part. But in big moments, you don't know how anybody's going to play really in the playoffs unless they have some kind of track record. And even then, as we talked about in the past, the Dodgers a couple years ago got swept because Betts and Freeman disappeared. And it was
just never know.
stark.
Yeah.
So you don't know. But going in, is that plan flawed? And will people say, well, what were they counting rookies for? And I went back and I looked in Bryce Terang's first year of being a regular guy. His rookie year was 23, the year they played the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
And got run.
Yep. And got run out.
And he was like sharing time with Owen Miller and Monasterio. And he like played 2 games and was in the series and didn't really
factor in much.
It wasn't a factor at all. No. But then our buddy Dom Cotroneo, he helms the official Brewers, the network post-game show or whatever on the Brewers radio network and the flagship. And he was getting a lot. He does stats for BA and Lev. He's an all-around good dude, friend of the program.
Yes.
They were in the spotlight last night, and he said, let me remind you, Jackson Churio's first 2 months in the show with runners in scoring position, he was 4 for 40. That's 100 batting average, 16 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 7 RBI in 40 chances with runners in scoring position. Success doesn't come overnight for rookies, is Dom's conclusion. And I'm like, yeah, so is the premise flawed? They got caught with their rookie showing in some key moments, and that's going to happen. But they've come through in big moments. How confident are you about the whole operation? Does that make you think, well, maybe when Frelick comes back, he'll be in there? Would he have been better? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. But in that exact moment, Drew, and the game is built off of just situations and circumstances. That moment, I feel extremely confident in a Sal Frelick base hit or being able to poke something through to the right side and find a small little gap like Lara kind of did later on in the game, right? A little bit of a chopper that just finds a nook in the defense and you're able to extend the inning. The 2-0 counts in the 8th inning, it did feel like you were going to call back to the 6th inning every single time. And then in the 7th and 8th, you gave yourself a lot of opportunities as well. Like they were around, they had plenty of chances. It's a frustrating one to see them not be able to come through. When you look at the rookies in and of themselves, I think Frelick is absolutely a part of it just because of the DNA that he's shown.
That's fair, yes.
That being said, in the batter's box in one of those moments, I expect Luis Lara to put up a legit at bat. Cooper Pratt, not as much. And I'm trying to also think back to like 2018. Orlando Arcia was one of their best offensive players in the playoffs. And he was consistently down at the bottom of the order, feels very much hopefully like what Joey Ortiz potentially is providing you throughout this one. But it's one of the reasons why you hit the nail on the head last week of it was disappointing to not have Pratt around and available to go on the West Coast string. Get 40,000 in San Diego, 40,000 in LA. The juice of those games, those were playoff-like games in a legit atmosphere that is tough. You can't manufacture that. Now he's seen everything that there is to play at home. These Cubs series and Cubs games are going to be a big telltale of it. The tough thing is, Drew, I don't know where else you necessarily would turn other than the law firm of Hamilton and Ortiz. And I kind of think that's almost where Murph is going to lean, right? Like as much as you want to be a development guy and you want to be able to get these guys a lot of opportunities, and if they're on the team, they're going to play. I would be surprised if you don't see more of the horses that he felt like got him there, and those being the Ortiz and Hamilton once this thing turns to October.
Yeah, there's nuance here. There's no question. I think it does depend on the guy a little bit because there are certain guys you never worried about their confidence. Like I never worried about Brian Braun's confidence in 2008, even though he was a young guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He always had confidence in big moments, but there are instances of both. That veterans come through, sometimes don't, but it would have been nice to have those guys get the experience in the road.
Yeah, that's true. I was in the press box when Andrew Jones was a star in the World Series.
You can be a
19.
young, yes.
You can be young, you can do it. Some guys do. They didn't have any problem with Miz last year. They were kind of protecting him, and like, he was blowing doors. Right?
Yeah, and they saddled him up in Game 5 of a winner-take-all game, and he was going to either be the horse that rode him to the NLCS or the one that you went into the offseason saying you had to get the experience, right? And that's the toughest part about the development part. And you mentioned Andrew Jones. It's why I thought if the Terang thing was long-term and he was going to be out for the remainder of the season, sure, you could go here with Johnny Rockets at second base, but I think you already know what that is.
Yeah.
Then you go for the big-time lottery ticket, and you see if Made could do it, because we've at least seen you give the special opportunity for somebody that just might be that kind of a player.
And I think Pratt and Lara are going to be great, but right now, and then, of course, the backdrop and timing being what it is, in Norfolk last night, Sal Frelick hit a leadoff homer and had an RBI single, and it's like he's looking like he's ready to. What more does he have to prove at AAA after a night like that? It's like, well, okay. Then you bring him back. What does it look like? What does the outfield look like? Are you playing him right away to get him rolling? You continue to play Lara? Do you play them both? And it's just like, what does it look like if you're facing the Dodgers or the Cubs in a deciding game? Who's jogging out there
who's getting the at-bats?
Who's jogging out there to start?
Well, and there was a point in time when everyone would just lock in Garrett Mitchell as one of those guys. Now he's obviously been the mayor of Slum City for the month of August, and
it's a crowded city though.
Yeah, very much so.
Population: Yelich, Contreras, Mitchell,
12 offensive players.
Yeah,
Ortiz is sitting out on the lawn chair, being like, "You guys enjoy the rooms in there."
That's the thing. You got plenty of vets that are struggling.
That's the thing. And so vets aren't immune to it either. It's hard to predict what anybody's going to do, but do you feel more, I guess, like blame or like, well, we put the rookie in that position and he didn't come through. We were counting on a rookie. Is that flawed? I mean, we just saw the Packers.
Nice coping mechanism.
We saw the Packers, kind of like we're blaming the part of the last 3 years of playoff failure on being the youngest team in the league.
Team in football. But you boasted that, right? Like, and when it would come up, you'd thump your chest of we're the youngest team in football and we're developing. And I think the Brewers prefer to let everyone know we give the young players the opportunity.
Yes.
We give you everybody the runway. We give everybody the leash. Garrett Mitchell 2 years ago in the Mets series, he kind of was the everyday guy, right? Or was that more of a pinch hit opportunity when he comes up in game 2 and lights the world on fire with the 2-run shot to put them up? Jackson Churio was obviously phenomenal in the playoffs. And that's also, he will break the curve for all of the other rookies, because Churio walked in and was like the best postseason player I think we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, he was right there. That's
even the Cubs series last year when he's got the hamstring issue and he's pulling it every time he's running up to first base. He had like 4 hits and a 3-run shot in game 2. Like, so he was so good that I think you do believe that everyone will just be able to play it that way. But I bring up Mitchell. Now he's got the sore foot.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Drew, we're 5.5, 6 weeks away from the playoffs. I think it's a spin the wheel and let me know who's there. Like, especially the last month, they have had such a topsy-turvy run with injuries.
Right.
I can't trust that any of these guys are getting all the way home. You sure hope that you are getting healthier at the end of the year. We already know that's just not how baseball works. And especially for this team in this year, they are perpetually dinged. And it feels like somebody, by the time we get to October, is not going to be a part of it just because they're out for 4 to 6.
Yeah, well, 6 weeks ago, you just have no idea what the team. So that's why I think in the end, we can find examples both ways, but you just have to stick with who you think is the healthiest and playing the best in that position at that time. Because young guys have come through, vets have come through. I mean, it also, it felt good to have like Jerry Harrison and Curtis Granderson and those guys too during that time for steady moments. But you also knew you're going to need your best guys to play well. So I think in the end, you just have to roll with who you think your best guys are, your most talented, the ones playing the best, and to your point, Billy, the healthiest. Because, the youth thing can be an experience thing, can be an important thing, but it can also be an excuse to why you didn't play well. I mean, I could think all day, like, if Devin Williams didn't knock his hand into the wall and play the year before, would he have given up to save the year after? I really have no idea. You might be able to tell yourself, well, that experience would have helped him, but it might not have helped him make a better pitch in that situation or not tip or whatever you want to say. Sometimes you just got to roll with the guys you have and hope for the best. Gallardo had great games, okay, in the playoffs in 08, or down the stretch close to 08 when he came off that injury. And then again in 11. Really good players have had slumps in the playoffs. We talk about Yelich sometimes. You just don't know. So I think roll with your best and your healthiest at that time.
That's what.
Well, that's the question. Who are their best?
And I mean,
and for Armen Sarian, one of the leaders of the Sal Frelick hate club, I wonder if he believes that Sal Frelick would ever get himself into that conversation.
Well, if Sal's hitting better in the middle of September than Garrett is, I think you have to think of it. He had a big homer in the playoffs in Game 3. Jake Bauers has to play in the playoffs. That's one guy I think about.
I think Jake Bauers is going to be
pretty
playing,
much a given.
But
I think he's going to be playing.
So there are some guys like, all right, like Andrew Vaughn might not get at-bats because I can't sit Jake Bauers because of what he's done this year and what he's done in the playoffs last year. I guess there's a little experience bias seeping in my mind, but that's the reality of it.
Well, and, Lockridge gets optioned back down. At some point, Murph's going to want to get Lockridge back.
Probably.
He's going to want Breckenridge around.
Breckenridge is going to go on a heater in AAA, and then they'll bring him back.
Come on.
It's just a thought I had last night, because are you comfortable with that? And are you ready? Because, rookies can sink or swim. Sometimes they'll surprise you. Sometimes you'll say, oh, if we'd had a more experienced player there. And this is where the Greek chorus will say they should have gone and gotten a bat at the deadline, and they didn't do it. Well, there were no bats really out there.
That was the toughest thing.
You
went for the best players.
You got
at the time.
10 teams hovering around 3 below 500 in the American League that think they're in it when they legitimately are, and they didn't want to deal. So it was like it wasn't a robust.
That's why we need the old August 31st trade deadline.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Good.
The other good part about the waiver one is they were almost always good players.
Well, and
legit contract, legit dudes moving teams late.
There was the procedural thing where like everybody in baseball after the July 31st deadline would go through waivers, and then obviously you wouldn't put in a claim on Jackson Churio because the Brewers were pulling back, so it was like folly. But they had to do it procedurally.
But throw them all through. Let's see.
It's wild.
That was one of my favorite things. I remember Alex Rios getting moved at the waiver trade deadline, and somebody picked up the contract. They're like, "Oh my God, he picked up 3 years and $60 million." White Sox were like, "Thank you very much."
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
But you could get good players, to your point. That's the
get real names, no doubt about it.
When we come back, we'll hear Hunter Baumgart's recap of of the proceedings last night. Brewers lose 7-5. They'll try to win the series this afternoon. The rubber match starts at 1:10 at American Family Field. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We're huddled up on a Thursday. Drew, Billy, and Armen. You can join us 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Comment to us on the socials, Facebook, X, and YouTube, where the stream is happening. Always side conversations because the smart, good-looking listeners can converse with each other on the YouTube comments.
Well, and it really is its own full conversation rolling on in the comments, which is a beautiful place to be able to hang out and just converse. And Armen always talks about having a communal experience.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to be able to find, right?
Love that.
In this ever-changing landscape and world we're in.
That's right. That's right. Our man Hunter Baumgardt, boots on the ground at American Family Field last evening as the Brewers lost 7-5, and he will be joining us live today at 7:25-ish. But let's take a listen to Hunter's recap of last night's proceedings. Take it away, young man.
Thanks, guys. Brewers fall last night 7-5 to the Seattle Mariners. Dustin May, unfortunately, with a rough couple of innings on the mound. In his first 2 starts at a Brewers uniform, 13 innings, 3 earned runs total. But then he gave up 7 earned runs in 2 innings last night in his start. He assessed the start after the game.
There was a lot of stuff that I could have executed better, but this is one of those outings where like you can't be super frustrated with yourself just because you didn't really give up any hard contact on stuff. So like you were still beating guys, but they're just putting it where we weren't tonight.
Now, after he exited, the bullpen threw 7 shutout innings and kept the Brewers in it, and they kept fighting and clawing back. Joey Ortiz with 4 runs driven in, including a 2-run home run. The guy's hitting .364 in August. He cannot be stopped. But unfortunately, Luis Lara and Cooper Pratt up in big moments, couldn't quite come through. All a learning experience for them. Brewers manager Pat Murphy talked about the youthful at-bats by those two in those situations.
He's a young player, just like Lara in the bases loaded situation. It's really unfortunate. He let the pitch before that might have been a ball. We were out of challenges, another tough thing. The pitch before that might have been a ball, I don't know. But he let that really bother him. Then we went to the next pitch and he wasn't as focused, check swing. Again, that's a youthful mistake. He came back the next time and had a great at-bat. So Pratt's last 2 at-bats just left the zone and left the zone.
Also last night, unfortunately, Jake Bauers did not get on base, so his 20-game on-base streak comes to an end. But the Brewers will go for the series win today. 1:10 first pitch. On the mound for the Brewers, Robert Gasser. Also, Garrett Mitchell was out last night with a sore foot. They're going to reassess today to see if he can go in the series finale. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. I'll join you guys at 7:25 to talk more about the Crew. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter. Look forward to catching up with you in a couple hours.
And for Dustin May, Drew, a cat that has definitely and obviously great stuff, maybe gets away from him at times. You could tell, though, last night he was about as confounded on the mound as he was there. Like, he's still trying to grasp his mind as to how did that happen and how did all those little bleeders find their way through, and how did the Mariners get all the Josh Naylor-like hits? Like the last one that he had, which was the softest looping fly ball that you're going to find. It felt like they had 7 of those last night as they cashed in almost all of them right away.
That's pretty good. Josh Naylor hits.
Josh Naylor's an interesting cat. It sounds like Josh Naylor's not the most beloved guy in the places that he's gone.
Yeah.
John Boy had a phenomenal one of him with some Cleveland Guardians players, of the one catcher being like, bro, no one even likes you.
Oh, I gotta find this.
No one even likes you.
I gotta build some anger toward them today.
Yeah, I can help you out. It's a good one. It's a good one. But we do like his brother Bo.
Like his brother Bo.
We like his brother Bo.
That's a good point.
He's one of the only good Canadians. So you can allow yourself that one.
He's Canadian. How do I not like the Canadian?
I'm a big Bo guy. Also, the one reason why Josh Naylor is an interesting cat, he's one of the fluffier guys in Major League Baseball. But he's also like top 5 in the American League in steals.
That is
so he's got good athleticism for a big guy. I like those
also
guys.
very deceptive,
like
right?
Prince Fielder, Devontae
he gets
Gardner's.
over to first base. You're like, okay,
boy
is definitely not running.
He's listed at 5'10", 235. Come on.
He's a biscuit shy of 260 from what it looks like.
Little fodder, guys, for thought as we head to the next hour into the break here. Dustin May's obviously been really good for the Brewers. Last night was his first dud, but he does pitch to a lot of contact. High whip always has been there. Does that concern you come playoff time to get all those guys on base? I don't know. It's in the back of your mind, you know.
It is. Well, in
roll with him.
And it's kind of
was saying that after his first 2 starts.
Does it feel like him and Harrison for the last spot though? If you shrink it down to 3,
maybe.
Is it kind of those two? Because it feels like Logan Henderson's going to be a hard one to pull out.
Do some piggybacking. Maybe do some piggybacking.
Or we'll
see.
give it 3 weeks and we'll see how much we like any of them.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. First hour's in the books. Let's welcome the 6 o'clock clubbers.
Be nice, 5 o'clockers.
Plenty of room on our train. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. It's the laws of baseball. When you blow out a team one night, you're likely to lose the next night to that same club. Case in point, last night the Mariners put up 7 quick runs against the Brewers. It was all they needed. Seattle taking it 7-5. Dustin May gives up 7 earned runs in 2 innings of work, even though he probably deserved at least a little bit better.
It's just a tough first inning. Gives up 1 hard contact, but he got himself in trouble, went 35, almost 40 pitches. He walked some people. He just didn't have his good stuff. But with all that, he'd given up 1 hard contact. Came out the next inning, same thing. Donovan gets an infield hit, hits a Rosarena. All of a sudden, it's 7-0.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Today at 1:10, the rubber game of the series, Robert Gasser pitching against George Kirby. The good news, Milwaukee's lead in the Central is still 4.5 games. The Cubs getting blanked by the White Sox 3-0 at Wrigley. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
B right, all the way outside. Y left, fake 396 bag. B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Blowing through a Thursday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian, your tag team partners here as we navigate through the 6 a.m. hour here at headquarters. Going to be a lovely day. Brewers Mariners today at 1 o'clock.
And a good day to be on the first base side. Right, like this is the ticket selection day where if you go to a day game at American Family Field,
Sure.
you definitely want somebody experienced picking out the
78 degrees on the third base side will feel like 110.
Oh my goodness, you'll think that you're in Old Town Scottsdale.
Feels
by the
like
fifth inning.
temperature will be intense there.
And you always believe, Drew, the sun is moving. Like you will convince yourself sitting in 127, like, hey, I think we're gonna get shade by about the fifth inning.
Yeah, it won't last
It
long.
looks
Now.
like, I think it's gonna move over, and I think we're gonna be good. Narrator, you are never good. You were in the sun the
seats
entire day.
between the third base dugout and home plate. You start, and then it quickly does move, but it's pretty wild.
I was gonna say right by the press box. That one you will get a little bit in that.
They do. They manipulate the roof a little bit. which
area
they'll
where
do.
you'll move
They've been
around.
doing
Yes.
that,
yeah.
That's gonna be
Ryan Braun's got to be happy about that.
big time.
Like, if anybody
Ryan
looks at
Braun
it,
roof configuration.
he looks at it and smiles and
He should
says,
patent
I had some significance here.
Yeah, that was his lasting impact on the current.
I
Brewers.
did anything.
That
I
and,
fixed the
several
roof.
other things. But all right, 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. We were just talking about possible concerns and just observations about Cooper Pratt, Luis Lara, the 2 rookies last night. Didn't come through in situations where they had chances. Now, it could happen to anybody. And there are other players slumping, and it's just one little thing. But it made me think, all right, well, what if that pops up in the postseason? And will that be one of the narratives? And that will that be possible? Now, as I shift my eyes and shift my gaze 2 hours north of our perch, certainly looks like Billy and there's a lot of ball game left in camp. But it certainly looks like Brandon Cisse is going to be starting against Justin Jefferson and company in week 1.
Yeah, it looks like baptism by fire for the young man, because while we were up there on Tuesday rotating through, and I know practice yesterday, pretty much the exact same deal. It was Brandon Cisse, and then let everybody else rotate in on the other side and figure out that side, because number 2 is going to lock down half of the field. And whether or not, Drew, he walks in and is an all-pro, whether he walks in and is a competent NFL starter, there's no better training for pro football than going up against the guys that he's going to go up against in the first 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, like, Wayne and I went through the list of players. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, the headliner. That might be the best wide receiver duo in the division for sure.
Yeah.
Best one right behind Puka and Adams in the NFC. Right? Like, I mean, Cooper Kupp and JSN in Seattle, extremely good. Like that's a tough one where Coop sat in his career, maybe different, but you're going to go up against Garrett Wilson in week number 2. No slouch, 30 million guy for a real reason and a multiple time 1,000-yard dude. Drake London just got paid as one of the best wide receivers in football, rightfully so. Emeka Ibuka and Chris Godwin's made a bunch of Pro Bowls, and Ibuka last year, week 5 or 6, people thought he was going to walk away with Offensive Rookie of the Year before he slid down. And then you get maybe a little bit of a reprieve with week number 5 in Chicago. They love those weapons over there with Burden and Adunze. And I mean, they basically shipped DJ Moore out to give those guys more reps. And then it's CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. Like that is a legit run of wide receivers that you're facing off with in the first 6 weeks, 6-7 weeks. And it's going to be you're going to learn a hell of a lot about the young man, but it appears they've learned enough right now to know he's one of their best options. And now we're going to figure out the other side.
And that's the thing. When you think about how stacked that position group is these days in this era of football, especially in the NFC, and when you look back on it, if you win an all-pro and not at that position, you're going to have to really have done something in this era, because I think it started, when receivers started to be in vogue so much 5, 10, 15 years ago, and then you started to see so many talent-rich draft classes coming through with receivers, you're seeing the results of that now. So many great players in that league. But then it's that every action has an opposite reaction, and it's always been that, to your mention, the cornerbacks and how important those guys have been in that position, because you're stopping, and you always say it, Billy, the most expensive connections in the NFL. So Cisse's development is going to be super important for this team. And there's no time for always a rookie, and all that. Packers are going to need help in that position. They're hopefully getting it with him, because, the lightning rod of Keyshawn Nixon, all those things going on, so there's always going to be times when you get beat as a cornerback in this league with this type of quarterbacks and receivers, and the way football is clockwork these days for offenses, it's going to look bad sometimes. Just, can you contain the madness? That's the goal for cornerbacks.
Well, for this group and the 3 playing for one spot of St. Juste, Valentine, and the aforementioned Keyshawn Nixon, Drew, I don't know who Packers fans want to win the job, but it definitely appears they don't want Keyshawn Nixon. But if he's the best option out of those 3, that's going to be an interesting thing to grapple with.
Yeah. I mean, is Keyshawn Nixon better than Carrington Valentine?
I think he is.
I think he's shown that he can.
I think
he's shown that he is.
I think he is.
And I think there's a reason why he was above him on the depth chart the last 3 years. Yeah.
So it's like,
but that doesn't mean he won't get beat sometimes and have bad moments.
Is there any is there any distinction when you're starting corner? You're a starting corner, but it's like he's the number 1 corner. It's like like we say with he's an ace, he's a number 1. Do we say that? Because Packers traditionally have not used a corner to follow the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. They just you play your side.
I think you're playing one side or the other. Yeah.
So is there that distinction?
I think that there will be maybe
their
not,
minds, maybe.
I think in the players' minds there is, right? Because everybody's always ranking each other, right? Yeah, everybody's doing it, whether it's in preps and in 7th and 8th grade when somebody first comes out with their preseason rankings of players in AAU or high school and college. Everybody's trying to. But for where they play now, I will say you've seen Cisse line up on both sides, so I don't know. Maybe Drew, they're finding which one they'll be most comfortable with. Maybe Gannon does want to follow a little bit more than others, and maybe he feels like that's more of an advantage. But the tough thing about following is then you're clearly indicating where you believe you are weakest at and where you are most susceptible. And if you're going to follow, teams now are so good schematically that you're giving away a lot of what you're doing on defense. And for a team that wants to disguise a lot, I just don't think they're going to do that. I also believe that the not wanting to return. I want to focus on special. I want to focus on corner. I'm going to be the number one corner, so I need to play cornerback. There's everything that has come out of Keyshawn Nixon's mouth, right or wrong, has aggravated fans, right? And has rubbed fans the wrong way. So the cornerback one is the tag that everybody has. There's not a lot of starting corners that are returning kicks in the NFL. Like I've gone back to that consistently. There's just not that guy around the league. Maybe there's one or two that I'm forgetting about in New England, but like their number one guy, Christian Gonzalez, is not returning kicks. Like, so they'll put that in the mind. He's not going to be returning kicks. He'll be focusing on defense. And he needs to, because he's in a battle. I think Valentine is an intriguing option. They've liked him for a while. Remember, 7th round rookie, Drew, that all of a sudden, was that the Chiefs game at Lambeau that he really burst onto the scene? And coincidentally so, Keyshawn Nixon was the one that came up with the big interception in that Sunday night game against Kansas City. So I'll be interested to see if something changes significantly before they play in Minnesota. But the biggest one is I don't believe they're ever set. Like anything that breeds comfortability with the players and complacency as to where you're at, Matt LaFleur is going to shake that thing up. I think they're going to rotate at offensive line. I don't think they're going to set 5 and just forget about it as much as people would like them to. They've rotated every single year at least one of the spots. And I think that for the first few weeks, there's going to be a number of different groupings that happen in that cornerback room on the field. And maybe Nixon's getting a large majority of the snaps, maybe Valentine's sneaking in for some, but it seems like both, I think, are going to play at some point.
How would this conversation be different if the Packers had held on to Trayvon Diggs, who yesterday signed with Seattle? Because they know that, well, Terry and Arnold's going to have some problems for a couple of weeks and he's going to miss some games. Yeah. But they signed him. The Super Bowl champs took a flyer. Now the Packers took a flyer and decided not to. What did they see that they didn't like? Was it a chemistry thing? Was it
I think the biggest one that they didn't like was him backpedaling away from the tackle in Chicago on the tunnel screen. But I think that
Keyshawn's got a few of those.
Right. But that's not exclusive. I think he was the Trayvon Diggs pairing was probably gone when they brought in St. Juste. Right. Like I think that was their vet to give a shot to and see. Because I think you did see the legs are probably a little gone on Trayvon Diggs.
He's like 27. He should be at the peak of his powers, but he looks like he's cooked.
It's funny.
Played a lot of football, though.
He has.
I mean, he played a lot of ball. And that's the other thing, Drew. He played under Saban in college. Like, so that I've struggled often with guys that do train in the secondary room under Nick Saban of like, hey, man, if anybody's going to tap all the potential out of you, it's probably going to be the greatest guy of all time.
He's kind of like a college baseball coach burning out pitchers because I don't care what they do after.
I don't care what you're doing after this.
Using them up.
But then then Pat Surtain is the best corner in football. So like it can work both ways. I think there's a reason why he stuck around and was out there so long. The Seahawks are rather desperate at corner, and I didn't realize that. Like I didn't realize how desperate they were after they let Reek Woolen walked to the Eagles during free agency, who played a bunch of ball for them. But you just think of Devin Witherspoon, and they'll figure it out elsewhere. But they've been grabbing anybody off the street to try to come on in there and play defense.
And I'm sure a lot of teams feel that way. I mean, that's just the air of this league. A lot of conversations that we're having are probably ones that fan bases are having around the league of, well, we need more depth at corner, or our corner is going to be good enough, because in your mind you want shutdowns all the time, and the way passing offenses go, you're not going to see that on, you're not going to watch that. You're not going to see it happen on your TV, or even if you're live at a game where passes will be completed. And so that's just the way it is. So I wonder if a lot of fan bases are having the same conversation, but Seattle's a good point. Like there's probably teams across the league that are looking for those guys.
Yeah, Seattle's looking for that. They're looking for the third corner, and it's Terry and Arnold. Well, he might miss a while, but we'll take him and
at some point be ready
just in case. And then to bide our time until he is available, let's take a look at Trayvon Diggs.
Well, and the other one is for what happens at corner. How much of it is, Drew, for like who's rotating in and who's going to be getting snaps? However healthy Javon Bullard is going to be is a factor. And as Katana Ladapo played his way into like, hey, if we feel at certain groupings in certain matchups, we'll send him in before we send in a third corner. Like that, they'll weave things around where they have a lot of guys in the back end that they feel somewhat comfortable in coverage, but more of them are safeties than corners. And I think that safety room, there might be even more bodies in there than at the end of the day there are in the cornerback room. That's going to be an oddity around baseball or around football. Pardon me.
Football. Yeah. So like you said,
I'm looking at this Matt Tugboat Wilkerson, and I'm thinking he's a football player, but he's actually a pitcher for the Giants.
I love that name. They even put it up there.
Tugboat.
Quote, Tugboat.
My man's massive over here from the left side. That's phenomenal.
Not to get us too off topic.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, it reminds me of the days back in the early aughts and the 1900s where every guy in baseball had a great nickname. You look up those old baseball references.
Need more of those.
Like High Pockets and Lefty and Crazy Jones and Big Marbles McGee and all these guys. Man, we need a couple tugboats and,
You had a couple of real gems in there and then fired in Lefty.
Yeah, Lefty's pretty basic, I guess.
Listen, you got to have a single in there in the midst of a bunch of homers.
You can do it. I mean, you can look up any 1900s MLB reference lineup and find some wild stuff.
That's Tugboat might be the new nickname for Paul Skeens if he continues to slide on the velocity. There's a lot of nicknames, though, that people have for Keyshawn Nixon. None of them glowing online, Drew. None of them glowing. Where when you see coming up this weekend, because they're going to have a number of those guys are going to play, right? Like the Cisse is going to play. I would assume with maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. I wonder if he gets reps with Nixon on the other side, with Valentine on the other side, if they rotate through all of those guys with the ones. But you can color me shocked as somebody as it's expected that Love and more of the first teamers are going to go coming up on Friday night. I did think that they were going to punt this one and wait for the joint practice.
What I thought.
But here we are, some 36 hours away, 38 hours away from kickoff. And it sounds like there's going to be some real dudes out there for the Packers coming up tomorrow night.
Dudes on dudes. They got to get to their 30 snaps, right?
They got to get to those 30 reps, which I do. Somebody's got to be able to give me where that data came from, because the NFL is amazing at being able to find data when it helps them out. I mean, like when it means get our players on the field and make the television product a little better, Drew, that stuff gets expedited to a lot of inboxes pretty quickly, ain't it?
There are certain guys I want to see just because it's been fun to watch, like Matthew Golden, has been really good, obviously. Want to see him. Certain guys I want to see because we haven't, but then I don't want to see because I get nervous. Marshawn Lloyd's that guy. Like Marshawn Lloyd, you want to see play because you haven't gotten a chance to see him much, so you're anxious to see what he could do, and that might be a very important guy, the way things shake out for the Packers this year in the running back room. But isn't it feel like we're getting away with it every time he gets back up? I don't know. I still feel that way about Marshawn Lloyd. So it makes me nervous in a way that I'm like, well, I don't want him out there then because I don't want chances of him getting hurt. But then I'm like, you can't look at it that way.
No, because you got to look around the league and see all of the teams that are dropping guys out. Like yesterday, Jaden Higgins, second-year wideout for the Texans, blows his ACL out. He's done
for the year.
Tyler Warren went down in practice for the Colts earlier on this week, and there's been a number of teams that are losing significant players. Former Badger Tyler Biadasz was a big signing this offseason.
That was rough
out west, and he's now out indefinitely with damage to the ACL. Not necessarily but damage to the ACL and additional injuries because of the joint practice with the 49ers. Somebody's got to tell me where that joint practice was. Was it in San Francisco? Was it in Santa Clara? Over by that substation?
Oh, that's where you're going. I was like, wait a minute now.
I don't know. Somebody let me know where that one was, because I'd like Tyler Biadasz to be healthy and playing football. And that's just something that cannot be happening. We need to get that place up out of here.
A lot of injuries, it seems like, or maybe we're just paying attention to it because they are all significant. But
they're all significant players, right? Like, I mean, those are that's the thing. A lot of these guys are prime dudes that teams were banking on playing a bunch for them. And you got to figure out how you're going to be able to get yourself ready for the year while also trying to make sure that you're as healthy as humanly possible.
Yeah.
The two things do not always go together.
And
very rarely do those work in unison.
Never-ending conundrum for teams. How much should we risk? How much should we prepare? How much should we risk? It's always that balancing act.
Breece Hall got paid a couple of weeks ago. He's down with a groin strain.
These teams just want to get through this period. They just want to get through preseason.
Exactly.
They just want to get to games that matter and then put their guys out there, I think.
Goal number one.
Because that's the thing about it, and maybe it doesn't make sense, but maybe it does, that for us, for some reason, the way our minds work, our pathology, we can rationalize it if they're hurting games that matter. Even though it really shouldn't matter, because if you're hurt, you're hurt. But if they got hurt in a game that mattered, well, so be it.
Yeah, but it's like when you fill up on the bread at Texas Roadhouse.
I didn't get my best meat.
I didn't get the best part of the meal in yet.
Right.
Although,
even though you're full either way,
that honey cinnamon butter, it might have a run at being the best part of the meal. One of the things that I will be watching for, Drew, we talked about drama yesterday. We talked about drama in Packers camp, drama in the NFL, drama in college football. I am dialed in on seeing these guys trying to potentially go back to school. There's some number of players that are in camps right now, some playing well in preseasons, that are saying, wait a second, this court ruling is allowing guys to have a 5th year of college. I'm
going back to school.
I took a pay cut to go to the NFL. Why can't I go back to the Big Ten or the SEC? There's going to be some rulings over the next couple of days that are rather groundbreaking in football. It's going to be very interesting to watch.
Let's be fair. All of you people out there, your first job out of college, you're sitting in a cubicle, you said, man, I wish I could go back to college.
Man, maybe I should go back to grad school.
You're all out there. You wish you could just go back to college for 1 more, 2 more years, 3 more.
Too funny.
4 more.
I was going to say 3 decades I'd go for.
There you go.
I love it. All right. We have reached halftime of today's edition of the Huddle. That means a visit from Scott Dolphin.
Yes.
From the country station down the hall, FM 106.
I like when this show becomes award winning.
We will indeed. Yeah, no doubt.
Whenever Dolph enters.
I was going
to say that we can get that distinction.
Yes. Bring on the Marconis. Dolph is next here in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Thursday, Drew, Billy, and Armen. Happy to be joined by our pal Scott Dolphin, our halftime correspondent from FM 106, the country station on the Hall. Hello, Dolph.
Hi, boys. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve, as my partner Shannon likes to call
Yes,
it.
indeed. Billy calls it that too. That's what the kids say.
Maybe
these
that's
days.
where she got it from.
There's nothing better. I mean, like the Thirsty Thursday was always a tag, but then it feels like you have to go out and party. If you don't, then it feels like you're not doing it right. Friday Junior just gives you that nice little sentiment when you wake up in the morning and gives somebody a good tag.
That's why I prefer to take Mondays off if I'm taking a day off during the week, because Thursday you're excited because Friday's right around the corner. Sunday, that sense of dread starts creeping in that you have to go back to work tomorrow. So I always prefer taking Monday off.
He's a vet. He's so smart. That is such a good call.
That is because, Monday's the day you're digging out and Friday's the day you're licking a stamp and mailing it in.
So, you're already going to fool them at some point. You might as well do it that way.
Everybody does it. I mean, come on.
And then, everyone really starts hitting the ground running at work on Tuesday anyway. It's not like you miss much. Everyone's going to try to find ways to hang around the water cooler even longer on Monday to talk about the game and figure out a way to,
It's true.
Play him just a little
Our boy Mike Heller loves him some Mondays.
Yeah, and I've been trying to talk him out of that for a long time, but apparently it's locked in now. It seems like it might be kind of his thing.
Not ideal.
I have still not gotten to his the wine bar that he and Carr have.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently there's bourbon there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
There is.
Absolutely.
Bad
Red
on
and
you.
white
You gotta
wine bar,
get there.
Wanakee.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Dolph.
Oh, wow.
I gotta
Jeez.
make it up.
Well, no,
up
I
there.
just, you got to.
I do.
I've been there.
I don't get to Wanakee often.
It's hard. I agree. It's not
Have
like
you been there
swing
for a
around.
non-station sanctioned event?
Well, come on. I mean, you can't get that. You can't get that nitpicky.
Hey,
on me.
now.
No, I haven't. Okay. No, I haven't. Well, it is
Oh, that's
hard.
bad on you. No.
Unless we're in the Madison area, it's hard to just swing
Armen,
by
you-
Wanakee
you
on the way home.
Yeah, it's hard to get to. Well, with these hours, it's hard to get to anything even local. I didn't go to the Milwaukee night market last night. I wanted to.
Yeah.
They block off Wisconsin Avenue.
cool,
It's just a cool vibe. It's really fun. I didn't go.
Yeah,
I was
thought
watching the Brewers. And
I thought the same thing. I saw all the stands popped up with the tents, and I'm like, oh, Drew is going to be rolling through that place last night.
I thought about it.
But it is tough. It is a great vibe to be able to catch. And last night was a decent night for it as well.
Yeah, they had to cancel last month because they had severe weather rolling through. Are you guys into the Milwaukee Zoo a la carte? That starts tonight.
That used to be one of my favorites. That's another good one.
30
All the
local
different-
food vendors,
Good
plus you have
music.
national entertainment. Lovely, the band is there
As
tonight.
long as I say, it was playing. Jim Blossoms was there one year.
Yeah, Chris Lane, who's had 5 or 6 number one country hits, is there tomorrow night.
Let's
Dang.
go.
Along with the
okay.
band Jackrabbit out of California. You know who? That's Dermot Mulroney's band.
hey, now
Underrated actor. I loved him as Dirty Steve in Young Guns.
I was gonna say
he's
That is
gonna.
phenomenal.
He'll draw the ladies.
Yeah, he had a nice stint on
Good-looking
Friends too, as Rachel's one-time love
Yes.
interest in boss Gavin.
Hold on.
That's a
He
good
was
point.
Gavin. He was Gavin.
That's Dermot Mulroney. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
man, you knew some good connections with this one.
Well, I knew Dirty Steve. I love those Young Gun movies because I was at that age. That was with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez and Kiefer Sutherland
sure.
and Lou Diamond Phillips. Great cast of young cowboys, trying to tame the West.
Now, is this the guy that said that we were pulling a Rachel, or was that Brad Pitt when he was on there on Friends, Armen?
That's a good question.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Was this the guy that came to dinner and talked about
that was
pulling a
Brad
Rachel,
Pitt.
or was that Brad Pitt?
No, it was Brad Pitt.
They hated each other.
Okay, they
That
hated
was-
each other.
And
but
that was
now-
a funny bit because at the time they were dating in real
Right,
life.
yeah.
So they were just couldn't stand each other
Yeah.
on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Gavin, okay. All
Yeah,
right,
so there you
let's
go. That's tomorrow night at Zoo a la carte.
I didn't know he had a band.
I
he
was
and
just
his-
going to say it.
Had-
No,
for-
I like that.
They've had it for a long time. They call it like Cali country, and it's him and his brother, and they do. California, when it comes to country music, has that distinct sound and has since Buck Owens. It's the
sound.
Bakersfield sound,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, then later years Dwight Yoakam, and now you still have a good California connection to country music now with guys like John Party and Nate Smith.
Best actor
You're so good
turned
at this stuff.
musician because Kiefer Sutherland plays and he's done shows at Shank
He
Hall.
did.
Hold on, Jack Bauer's a musician now?
Yeah, he
he's
gave
just-
us like a couple hours of his time. Were you here in the building that day when he was
He
here?
was hanging out. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh.
It was awesome. We had like 30 listeners, and he did a Q&A.
Yeah.
Did he rip anyone's fingernails off?
He
No.
didn't, but he brought up
Pretty
being
chill.
he brought up being a heavy in movies, and when he decided to stop, do it. Do you remember the movie Hand That Rocks? Was it not Hand That Rocks Cradle? It was Eye for an Eye
Yes.
that he did with Sally Field, and he played this horrible character, child murderer. And he said that role affected him, disturbed him in such a way he vowed he would never be
Never
a
gonna do it
villain
again.
Wow.
again.
This is wild.
I mean,
you're dropping knowledge.
Him
Jack
dropping
Bauer
Jack
and,
Bauer was a different level of
And then
intensity.
Designated Survivor was a good show.
That ran for several
Yes,
seasons.
You're right.
But you're right. Nothing top 24.
But he's-
Damn it,
all right,
Chloe!
so-
I need those codes.
Him now, and that was the one show that I'd watch with my folks where you knew I was probably a tick too young to be watching the show, especially when they'd start. I mean, just gouging someone's eyes out to be able to get the information. I'm just sitting there.
I learned so much about national security and the football, the briefcase through that show 24.
Yep.
You remember who the president was? It was Serrano.
From
Major League.
Yeah. Dennis Haysbert was the president on 24.
I was going to say, I was trying to piece it together because it does feel like the president got killed almost every
you're
season
right.
in that show.
That's a good point.
That was a good one, yes.
Because after Major League, he got big on the insurance commercials.
Allstate.
Allstate, yeah,
Let's put together a music festival of actors who play, who have bands, because it's the Bacon brothers, Kevin Bacon and his brother. They do stuff.
What about Jamie Foxx?
I was
he's one
gonna
of the
say,
biggest
Jamie
ones.
Foxx is a pretty good musician.
Thomas Ian Nicholas, who was Henry Rowan Gardner. And
Yeah,
then Kevin
great point.
And all this other
30 Seconds to Mars.
Leto.
Jared Leto.
Okay.
That's
Keanu Reeves was in a band, Dog Star.
That's right.
Who else? We're putting together a music festival of all these people. Oh, Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yeah, that's right. Billy's he's done it a couple different
Costner
times.
have a band too. I think.
I think he still does. The Great West or something like that.
Yeah.
They played Summerfest last year. He's not in anymore, but Jason Schwartzman.
Schwartzman, yeah.
That band out of LA.
Breaking Benjamin.
Thank you, Breaking Benjamin. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, so was J-Lo an actress first or a musician? I don't even remember.
She was a musician.
More musician. What about Hillary Duff, who your co-host just went and saw?
Pretty popular right now.
Very popular right now. Lizzie McGuire
Oh,
now
good God.
turned into
Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah's got music coming out.
Both Ice-T and Ice
She
Cube.
used to rap. She was a rapper, basically. Where I think.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Probably before she acted, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That was her thing.
That was her
Oh my
entree.
God,
Yeah,
I
so-
got to be finding some of this. Okay,
So it goes
now we're
both
talking.
ways. I
Russell
guess.
Crowe has a band, apparently.
Yeah.
Did you guys mention that? I don't
Russell
know.
Crowe definitely does.
Chevy Chase was in that You Can Call Me Al video with Paul Simon.
Jack Black.
Jack Black, notorious
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D. Yeah.
Tenacious D.
Oh, what about
Chevy Chase.
what about Lonely Island guys? What
Oh,
about
great.
Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg, that's well
now
done.
We're talking.
That's well dropped.
That's-
Now we're
yeah, good
talking.
one.
Good point. There's you could put an all-star lineup together. for
Everyone's
You
chiming
could.
in.
This would
Keanu
be a
Reeves,
pretty good
Yes
one.
Man. Keanu Reeves. Yeah, we got that one. That's a good one.
that. Wow.
Johnny Depp in the Hollywood Vampires, says Derek from
Oh yeah,
Whitewater.
that's a great point. Hollywood Vampires.
Back in the day, and not now, but Bruce Willis was a front man in a band.
I remember him singing the Seagram Golden Wine Coolers commercial.
It was usually a mismatch when he was handed a microphone to sing.
Derek in Whitewater. PCA played the kid in the Deliverance. That's a joke. Wait a minute.
I think that was
That's a joke.
Yeah.
There you
Think on the banjo.
Heck yeah.
That's mean. That's mean even for PCA. That's
PCA.
mean.
You see that guy yesterday, by the way, Dolph? PCA?
No.
Hitting homers and signing autographs for kids?
Signing autographs.
What
for
a
kids.
jerk.
What a bum.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive how low these guys will go.
He's signing autographs for kids, high-fiving kids.
Our friend Maggie in Georgia throwing out Luke Grimes.
Oh, there's a good one. Now he's really serious about his country music career, by the way. Luke Grimes from Yellowstone and now has the U.S. Marshals show on CBS on Sunday night. Very good
That was
actor.
in 50 Shades of Grey, too.
He was in 50
Oh, yeah.
Shades of Grey.
Oh, yeah.
Very good actor. I think the verdict is still out on his country music career, but he's
diving fully in.
He's diving fully in. Midwest roots. I believe he grew up in Ohio.
I think, especially with all the folks and all the very rich and famous flooding to Nashville. I mean, we see it with McAfee spending however millions of dollars to be able to produce whatever cosplay country music album.
Yeah, he did do one.
I'll
too,
be
yeah.
interested to see how many different ones do try to say, I'm friends with Chase Rice now. I think I can sing a little bit. I'm going to try. I wonder how many will try to find different ways to flood in because they're around all these very rich and famous country singers.
You know who's friends with Chase Rice?
Yeah, Victoria
Everyone?
from Bachelorette.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They were teammates.
High school classmates and teammates. And Chase Rice was a hell of a linebacker at North Carolina. Well, I wouldn't say hell of a, but he started. He's 6'4", 250.
Yeah, he's a big son of a gun. Like you started seeing a strapping young lad, like when he was standing there on The Bachelor.
Who do you think the cool one was there, Chase Rice?
Oh, I think it was Chase Rice.
Who do you think had the friend zone and which one got all the girls?
Right? Yeah, he played the Bears.
Ben Johnson's a dork, man.
He played halftime of the Bears-Rams playoff game.
Yeah.
And it was, 20 below wind chill, and on stage he ripped his shirt off.
That is pretty. It's pretty wild. When you hear about the guys that
If I looked like that, I'd never wear a shirt.
Oh gosh, I know. When you hear about the guys that went to school together and the ones that knew each other, I mean, how many times we hear about Stafford and Clayton Kershaw and all those guys?
Lifelong friendship.
Guys
there.
that played. I mean, the Johnny Rockets was coached by Murphy's kid. What was it? Murphy
Played travel ball against Murphy's
That's
kid.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah, was
Pretty
the best
amazing.
player on a team that ended up with some future Hall of Famers on, or future
Really
big
good
leaguers
player.
on.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers,
The
big
Kershaw one is fun. Could you imagine being like the third starter on that one on that
Oh.
rotation?
Oh gosh.
Well, no, like Stafford was his catcher, and Stafford
didn't
was
know
the
that.
quarterback, and Kershaw was a wide receiver.
Was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now Jack Flaherty had a run there too, where they had like 4 or 5 different starters all on their rotation in high school that all ended up being big league players, all there in that California cluster.
Yeah.
You almost forget about how many of them then. grew
Interesting.
together.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
You could probably do that with most major league rosters, right? Especially with all those California guys.
Yeah, the guys who played in like the area code games or now travel ball, or these guys.
Mhm.
And it's in basketball especially. Like guys know each other growing up.
Yeah.
I played against them when I was 13. And now we're
That's right. It
10
was
years
Max
later, we're in the
Fried and
league.
Lucas Giolito and Jack Flaherty all in the same high
Damn.
school rotation.
That's not bad.
Pretty good.
That might have been tough. That might have been tough to go up against.
Wow.
Justin from North Carolina saying Milwaukee's own Jacob Lattimore. Yeah, musician, had some albums. I don't know about his athletic career, whatever, but I know he's pretty accomplished singer, dancer, actor, so that's pretty good.
Wow. And here, my claim to fame is I played in the same era in the same conference as Paul Wagner.
Come on now.
Did you face him?
Wags. Yeah, we played. I played hoops against him, played baseball
How'd
against
you make
him.
out?
I don't recall. I don't remember. He did smoke us in basketball. He had I think he scored 30 against us.
I didn't know Wags had game
Played
in hoops.
He
All
played
those,
hoops.
all
Good
those
athlete.
guys, if they're an athlete, you were good in high school.
That's a great
basketball.
point.
I remember John Navarre slicing us up when Cudahy and Greenfield.
Oh
played.
yeah, John Navarre, Cudahy Packers.
Yeah, that's back when guys would play all those sports.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Well, that was and you didn't get chastised for it.
Right.
Like when I was in high school and Joel Stavi was getting close to committing to Wisconsin. He was on the basketball team. He was probably one of their best players. And then ultimately it was in the middle of the year. It was like, hey, how about you never do that again? How about you stand over here
blowing
and
out
just
that
stop.
ACL?
Let's not worry about that ever again.
Coach that ankle.
Zach Bond from Brown Deer.
Brown Deer.
Great
Billy's
basketball
guy.
player.
Great basketball player. Also a disgusting high school football player. Quarterback.
Oh, man.
Billy had an
Big time.
audience with him at Media Day at the Super Bowl. That was good.
Awesome.
He was a Woodland Conference legend.
Yeah.
There's a number of those, but that's the tough thing. Like you see the best players right now, still all of them ended up playing multiple sports, but it almost feels like you have to be one of like the best athletes for groups and coaches to be like, yeah, you can definitely go to basketball practice and miss out on baseball open gym 5 months away from when we're playing. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's like you have to pick a sport now when you're 6
Well,
years old.
I think we've been told that for years. Where with AAU and travel leagues and stuff, you're going to see fewer and fewer kids playing multi-sports, but you still do. You still see them kids excelling, like you just said. I mean, if you're a good athlete, you're probably going to be at a small school. You're going to be the quarterback on the football team. You're going to be a pitcher on the baseball
Right,
team.
but if you're told you're special, aren't you pressured then to specialize then at that point?
Maybe, but you're still seeing multiple sport athletes
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I hope
across the
I hope
country.
the trend changes. Yeah.
You want to endear yourself to Luke Fickle? Well, go out for wrestling.
Yeah, you'll be instantly have
You'll be on
one
the
fan
radar.
there. Yep, you'll be on the radar there.
Wrestle's okay.
Boom.
All right.
Sweet. Let's bring him in. Let's have a
Well,
conversation.
that gets to the whole bigger picture thing in this era of the high school recruiting thing. Do major universities and the Power 5 conferences spend more of the time combing the high schools or just looking for transfer portal guys?
Well,
and using the Ball States and MAC schools and
Right.
Tyner schools as their feeder system.
And it sucks
the
for
minor
those schools.
league.
It really sucks.
Like
for
I
those
bet
schools.
they spend way less time working with high school coaches and just developing those relationships.
Well, in that way, you probably put it a little more delicately than at first brush when Luke Fickle kind of frustrated a lot of folks at the Wisconsin High School Coaches Clinic when he mentioned it that way. Like where we're at right now, yeah, we definitely want to bring in high school kids because you do need to develop guys that are, program guys and you have them for 4 years and they care about it more. Like they brought in 30 transfers because they needed 15 starters, right? Like, so you're instantly going to go and comb through. Trinidad Chambliss is a great example. Played at Ferris State, won a national title, sat for a year, and now he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Great point.
In the SEC, and you're going to see a lot more of those guys. The other one is the groupings that are coming, right? Like Rocco Becht and Matt Campbell at Penn State. The cat that He's going to be our wake and bake story here, by the way. The Oklahoma State head coach.
Come on now.
Great story about Eric Norris coming out earlier on. But he went from North Texas, brought their quarterback, and it's no longer just like, hey, you're going to be our coach. What kind of program are you going to instill?
You know, and there was
what 15 starters are you bringing with us? Because we need to flip this thing around instantly.
And before Nil, there was always that question mark of, well, sure, you know, he threw 60 touchdowns at this school, but this is big time football. We found these guys. If you're a winner, you're a winner. I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I go to basketball at Iowa. You know, Ben McCollum brings Bennett Sturtz with him from Northwest Missouri State. Can he play at the Big Ten? Yeah, he was with the 18th overall pick in the NBA draft this year.
Pretty good.
Signetti brought a bunch of guys with him from a
and they all seem to work.
How about right there? Wins the national championship.
And we were talking. I was actually chatting with Matt LePay yesterday, and like they might have brought in that kid from TCU. Might up having a better season than Mendoza.
He might end up being better than Mendoza was.
They got a best free agent quarterback on the market. They went and got him. And
because Signetti also does this, where he had the I win. Google me. He also one of his best statements is I've been a first team all conference quarterback every team that I've been the head coach of.
I love that
and I
guy,
ain't stopping
man.
now.
I just love how he backs up what he says. He throws shade at the SEC. It's just he's just a
smack
breath
about
of fresh
anybody.
air.
When he walked in and said Purdue sucks,
I know.
Ohio State, Michigan.
Love it.
Oh my
Love it.
God,
Let's
guy.
go.
Let's ride it.
Yeah, we were chatting also this to bring it all around. Like Billy Edwards Jr., who we got to hang out and eat wings with at Buffalo Wild Wings in Madison. He might be the last starting quarterback for Bill Belichick in his career, but he's playing at North Carolina. And like his gear, he's got gear from Wake Forest, Maryland, Wisconsin, and North Carolina. He's got all the colors covered.
Like AJ Store.
There's a run of Goodwills that have gotten a lot of number 5 things dropped.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, Store's got another one now, UNLV.
Yeah,
I thought Billy Edwards was headed to like put on a headset and be a coach, but now he's got another year to go play.
Why not?
Football.
Just keep.
Hey man, one more year where you can get
make some
check
money.
They're not giving coaches. You might as well do it.
Armen, trivia question. Give us all of AJ Store schools.
Oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Yeah, you can.
IMG, Bishop Gorman.
No, not high school, just college. Just college.
Sorry, yeah. Well, he started at St. John's.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Kansas.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's at
Ole Miss. Where was he last year? Yeah, you got it. Ole Miss and now UNLV.
Was there one I missed though? Did you?
No,
I think so.
That's it. Yeah, you got all 5.
Billy helped me with Ole Miss.
I'm impressed you started ripping off high schools though.
Yeah, he went right for the jugular.
I just saw the tweet.
By
the way, Tommy and Sun Prairie also know that Jock Peterson and Devontae Adams were high school football teammates. And Jock outgave him his senior year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that would have been Palo Alto High School.
That's
Peterson, Texas Rangers now, right?
I watched a little documentary on Devontae on a plane once.
Wow.
He's like, I was from the other side of the tracks in Palo Alto. I wasn't from that.
From
rich tech
from the down on the farm side over by Stanford, that area.
Bougie. Dolph, thanks for popping by. Always a treat. We will talk to you tomorrow on the real Friday, not just Friday Junior.
On the real one.
The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on this Thursday in the good land. We got a Brewers matinee today. Hunter Baumgart's going to join us in about 25 minutes to talk about that.
And calm down everybody freaking out about Dustin May. Please, Hunter.
Yeah.
Maybe will he? We'll see.
I mean, he's good, and he's been good. But with his history, there's going to be starts like that. You know, he's going to have traffic.
Yeah.
He's going to have those
No doubt.
moments.
Funky thing about the Brewers right now is they are entering a Cubs stretch without playing the Cubs. They have 3 straight home day games.
Yeah, it's a weird oddity in the schedule, and then a
1:10
Sunday
tonight,
nighter.
3:10 tomorrow.
That is bizarre.
And then 1:10 on Saturday, so they can fly to Williamsport to play in that Little League World Series showcase on Sunday night against the Braves. Brewers home game, but they have to travel to Williamsport, which isn't easy.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a whole lot of direct flights and a lot of great landing strips there for a team plane. But I will say, Drew, I'm fired up that the Brewers are a part of it. Like watching the spectacle that the Field of Dreams thing is on Netflix, the Williamsport game with all the kids that are going to be there in the Little League World Series, busting the seal yesterday and having some great games. A thriller as Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic were having an absolute battle, and kid throws a seed from right field to be able to give Nicaragua the lead. I'm excited to be able to see the kids enjoy it. I like that the Brewers are going to be featured on it, but it is an oddity in the schedule. That's for sure.
There is a Williamsport Regional Airport.
There is.
Whoa. 4 miles east of downtown Williamsport in Montoursville, Pennsylvania.
I'm looking at it. Actually, funny research
Williamsport.
So they'll fly right in.
You can get a direct from
shut my
Dulles.
They will fly right in.
Well,
otherwise, the biggest nearby airport would be University Park State College, Pennsylvania.
That
which
might
is
make more
an
sense.
hour west.
Well, because the problem is how big the runways are for the planes and stuff. It depends. If they don't have big jets coming in that often, you can't necessarily just land anywhere.
Or Wilkes-Barre, which is in 67 miles east,
Those
or
two
Harrisburg, which is 74 miles south.
I would think those are all more likely options than you just bus an hour.
And they're going to have to bus an hour. Yeah, maybe.
It's just the wide bodies, Billy.
But-
It's the whole thing. Don't worry about
But as it is cool that two things are true. It is cool that the Brewers are playing in that game, but it's also the travel thing, and it's
a
coming
pain
off the road. It's kind of a pain in the arse.
Well, and especially because they travel for like the one day, and then they play the Mets for 3 games, and then they come right back, right? And then they go back out on the road, and then they come back for 3.
Well, I
and
mean, it'll be a quick commute, and they have a day off Monday, so it'll be a quick commute from Pennsylvania to New York. You get to spend an off day in New York, which isn't the worst thing.
not a bad day off, but then you come back,
and then you're right back home, and then they start that tournament against the Cubs.
and they're right onto the road, and it really kicks in, man. And the month of September is going to be so fun.
Definitely.
With the games you have, the matchups you have, like even the Baltimore series, you can circle up. They were left for dead. They're right in the thick of it in the AL, and they're playing really well. There are no slouches on this schedule on the back end, unless you face Skeens.
Yeah.
that's
maybe
a reprieve.
Maybe you can
break in the schedule.
Maybe you can get the Lily break there on like September 16th
Miss
and have him throwing
Ashcraft,
cheddar
for sure.
Well, Baltimore's pissed last night. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Hunter's going to join us at 7:25 for some Brewers talk. You are hanging out with us in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. No, you can't take those runs with you. One night after the Brewers beat the Mariners 22-0, they give up 7 runs in the first 2 innings of Game 2 to Seattle. That's all the crew would get, but it was enough. 7-5, the final score. Seattle with the win. Dustin May, his worst outing as a Brewer. He was responsible for all of the damage, but thinks it was a command issue as much as anything.
There was a lot of stuff that I could have executed better. This is one of those outings where like you can't be super frustrated with yourself just because you didn't really give up any hard contact on stuff. So like you were still beating guys, but they were just putting it where we weren't tonight.
Today at 1:10, it's the rubber game of the series. Robert Gasser will pitch for Milwaukee against Seattle's George Kirby. The loss didn't cost the Brewers, though. The Cubs lose to the White Sox 3-0. Milwaukee's lead in the division is still 4.5 games. And the Packers travel to Denver today ahead of Friday's preseason game number 2. Kickoff is at 8. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 jet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Thursday in the Goodland. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian. Your trio here. Thursday trio, Friday junior, whatever you want to call it. Caffeinated and ready for the last hour of our show. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. You can reach out to us, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line 877-794-1973. I have, unless Billy would object, I have for us a Current Electric superhero of the day.
Come on, let's go. Call current.com. Place to go
That's
get
right.
those generators. Only 10 more days, 11 more days. However you count the calendar. Do you count the day that we are on or the day that it's coming up? Whatever it is, August 31st is the last day to take in and cash in on their deal going on right now where you receive a free 1 year of monitoring with a purchase of a Current Electric whole home generator. Kicks in within seconds of the power going out. We know that happens often in the summer. Call current.com, Drew.
It is, and this will warm some cockles for Armen. Ring out a Hoya.
Can't wait. Let's go. I need
Marquette
this.
freshman volleyballer, Allie Beers.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
go. Come on, Beers.
Her number 6 has become quite the jersey and quite the sale, NIL stuff. Because 6 beers.
6 beers, one of the most. I remember
6 beers.
How did it take me that long to put that together?
6 beers.
I got the link. I got the link from the Marquette Buddies group text like a week ago.
Outside hitter from Slinger.
Yeah, on Ben Maller this morning. He mentioned it too.
Yep.
In one
this town with the Brewers. Oh my God, it's funny. She's, and the funny thing is, I didn't realize her brother plays football at Minnesota.
I was gonna say, so this is the Beers tight end kid's little sister.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
He's a lineman, so his number at Minnesota is 78. So 78 beers.
That's your number, Billy.
That's a hell of a weekend.
78, right?
You better believe it. Yeah, and he's a good player too.
There are so many good prep volleyball players in this state now. It is just incredible. Obviously, we know what University of Wisconsin does. They're a national title contender every year. Marquette's program's gotten better, so I mean that's pretty cool. But yeah, 6 beers. Now I've never ordered a women's volleyball jersey for myself, but maybe they got a t-shirt
Shirtsy,
option.
hoodies, they got it all for you.
Might have to now. Oh my God!
According to the NIL store, top selling athletes in the NIL store last week, she was number 7. Alicia
I'm stunned
Beers.
by that.
That's where
development.
That's where I'm not surprised if more kids start legally changing their name to get more NIL. I mean, because that's just a brilliant marketing move.
I mean,
she gets a piece of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, come on. Like, all of her teammates are probably jealous. Be like, I don't know if you're the best player in this team, but you got the coolest name, so everyone's buying your jersey.
She said in the Journal Sentinel story, she said, I had my number all throughout high school. I didn't even think of it. Then the tweet came out. I was like, oh, that might be a good coincidence. So the 6 beers, like there's going to be people supporting her, and just the fact that it's 6 beers.
I got to be honest. I'm going to gomarquette.com right now and buying one. I like out of the different
How
things.
can you not?
No, I'm with you.
I'm in. I'm fully in. And
Alley beers.
if you see any kind of name that gives you that tag, that's a tough thing to be able to walk away from. Also, how many times is she going to walk down campus? Somebody's going to be rocking the 6 beer shirt, and they're going to have no clue that that's Allie.
Feel like a star.
Completely.
I mean, you next thing you
Completely.
know,
But-
yesterday you were just a slinger owl. Next thing you know, you're walking down Wisconsin Avenue and everyone's wearing your shirt.
But
I'd watch how you
now-
say just a slinger out.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean it like that.
Very distinct.
Now, the
But
NIL
like-
rules don't let you take money from alcohol, tobacco, or gambling.
Okay.
And she's not 21, but her name is her name. Her number is her number.
Sorry.
And if people want to say, let's have a 6 beers shirt. It's fun.
What
It's
about
organic.
NAs?
It's hilarious.
Maybe Happy Place Hem can do it. Can
Now,
you take that?
I would say Marquette Spirit Shop, we need this as prominently featured as anything. Like when you go to the
It's too hard
athletics,
to find, yeah.
this needs to be the first thing that you see. If you know that you're going to be selling something this good, you need to be jumping on, and that needs to be front and center. All due respect to Ella Motts, number 12 of the lacrosse team, whose sweatshirt came up first when I went to the NIL store.
I saw a quick link to merchandise for the 50th anniversary of the 1977 championship.
Good
which they're
stuff.
already
There's
selling.
always good stuff. Whenever I'm down there, I try and whip through the Spirit Shop. Of course, go online as well. There's always some nice stuff there. And
now when you go to the Spirit
Jordan
Shop,
hoodie for $92. I mean, come on.
well, Armen knows the Jordan hoodie that more onto the clearance rack. So do you go to the NIL store first, or do you go to the clearance rack store first?
NIL store is that's mostly online. Like they'll make it up for you and you order it. I don't think they put them on a bunch of the rack. Well, they might. I can't remember, but I go to the clearance rack first. Yes, to answer your question. Well, I don't know. Drew and I had that Nike versus Champion argument, so I'm not really sure what's more expensive. But
Well,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
no. Our argument was me pointing out that Champion is becoming, in the fashion sense, it's more popular and common on the streets. Armen's like, I got to get on the streets.
Well, my
more.
point
yeah,
is,
you do.
Yeah, you do.
And Nike and
You-
obviously
you
Marquette
poo-poo
is
Champion as like a cheap brand. I was like, well, they do like fashion collabs with Supreme, and they're like
they're a Target.
cooler than Nike these days.
Yeah,
It
I
just
don't know.
is.
I don't know. Well, okay, that's
The
like
big
a
C,
podcast
the big
debate.
logo C. You're not. Yeah.
But my point is,
I don't see anybody rocking the old school C, but if they do, I love to know it. I like this one of the Marquette Scripps sweatshirt across the front with the 6 beers right on the back.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's some cool stuff.
There's some phenomenal stuff that we have here in my Alley beer shirt that I'm picking up here.
And she's a mathematical economics major. All right. So none of your, she's not like.
Well, she's going to put the money to good use.
That's what I'm
is what you're
saying. She's not like trying to just roll in and get, for lack of a better example, an HA store, just try and get in and get out. But I do like that we got 6-foot pin hitters now at Marquette. Those used to be all, only reserved for the Big Ten, but Marquette's volleyball team is getting 6-foot pin hitters. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
I would like
A little volleyball talk.
We need to make sure that we're putting men's clothing in here too for the sizes. Not
That's what I'm saying. Is it only women? That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, there's men's sizes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
100%.
Okay, good. All right.
But when you are dumb and you're looking at it and it says women's volleyball, then you immediately think that it's a woman's cut shirt. See, again,
Yeah, I mean,
when
that's the thing.
when the intelligent shopper is actually doing the thing, then you can figure it out. I love this, Drew, and I appreciate it. And Marquette is going to appreciate my $40 because I'm debating. I'm debating between the big Marquette logo or Marquette across the chest, but that's definitely going to have something here.
I think I get 10% off because I'm an alumni, but I don't know if I can do that online.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's have Armen hook us up.
I was going to say, can I use your discount, or is that going to? I don't want you to get in trouble, so I don't want to.
What are they going to do? Take away my status? Okay, I got the degree, but here's my thing. I think you have to use your alumni card in person. I don't think there's a way to enter it online, Billy. And then with NIL stuff, you probably have to order online, so you won't be able to save the $3 or whatever, $4.
Statman Steve, I graduated from Slinger High School where Allie Beers went. Didn't even realize it. She was born in 2008. I graduated from Slinger in 2007.
You know what? That's okay. We're all getting older.
It's all good, Statman
We're all
Steve.
getting older.
That's how it happens. All of a sudden you blink and you realize, wait a second, what? There's 2 Brewers that are older than me? That's it? How did that happen?
Yeah.
There's one player on the Packers that was born in the 80s. How the heck did that happen?
I remember when like Corey Hart was like the first guy I realized was younger than me when I was watching a Brewer game, and that really freaked me out. And that was like what, 20 years ago? Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of funny how that works. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, like I mentioned, I know you got to mention on the Ben Maller show this morning.
Cool. You get a mention on the Ben Maller show. She's our current electric superhero of the day. Armen, there's levels to the awards. And if they're going to celebrate anything around Schrader Hall, is that where they would be potentially?
Well, a freshman probably is in one of the other dorms. Schrader was a sophomore dorm usually, but she could be at Schrader. Possibly.
I'm no longer McCormick, and that was the only one.
McCormick, rest in peace. The Commons is the big one. It could be McCabe Hall. So
now you're just flexing your RA muscles, but shout out Allie Beers.
My day was McCormick. So
they have these all the way up, Billy, all the way up to 4XL.
I know, I'm scouting it out, Drew. I'm figuring out which one I like more. Wow. The fun now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. The new MU logo that Marquette has, that one in there. Is that the only lasting piece from the Marquette gold era?
Yes. No one talks about that, William. Yes.
It's the only thing that lived on from those 8 days where they were the Marquette gold, correct?
And Marquette had really been searching in the wilderness for like a standard M logo to use. I mean, over the years, they really couldn't find one. There was other M's and MUs that were kind of being used but didn't catch on. But when they switched to gold, they also introduced the monogram logo, and it stuck really well because it's a good logo. And I'm like, well, at least something positive came out of it.
Dwayne didn't have a problem with that one.
No, I got a call on that. Remember,
I got a call.
Yeah, I mean, gold obviously was roundly criticized and the scrap heap of history is a disaster, but the monogram is a good one. It looks good, and it's been a good logo for a long time. So that's Billy, the Athletics logo only.
If I may raise one point, I don't want to deter you or squash your enthusiasm, but the hoodie, given its design, in order to see Beers 6, if the hood is down, you're going to be covering it up.
Oh, you're spot on, Drew. Yes, 100%. That was what I was really debating with.
Might be the way to go, or the crew neck.
They have crew neck.
They do have a crew neck, but as a big guy,
cool.
I was going to say the hoodie is good for a big guy because you can put the pouch and push it away.
If you can't see the name, it kind of defeats the idea. Otherwise, you're just Marquette 6. Okay.
Yeah, not nearly as cool. I'm right there with you, Drew. And now this is where you can help me out, because I don't know that I love the white T-shirt with the very, very small logo right there. The Marquette script across the front with the 6 in front, because then it almost looks like a full 6-pack.
Yes,
then you get everything on that gray shirt. That's about as good as it can possibly get.
Yeah, I think that gray T-shirt's the way to go.
That's going to be the winner right there. Yeah. And they still have the 2.
Unless you're going crew. I don't wear a lot of crew sweatshirts. You got to have a hoodie. Like, what's the point? Unless you're going to wear a crew sweatshirt with like a button down under it or something. You know?
Right. I'm right there with you. The weird one over is on that side of the
I like doing it now. Yeah. I realized I noticed something when I turned about 34-ish that I started looking for crew sweatshirts more. I'm like, oh, I'm fully in dad mode now. But I do like the crew sweatshirt sometimes.
Do you pop the collar over the crew neck?
No, see, I'm generally not wearing like dress shirts underneath.
Oh, okay.
Like that would be
white
a
collar
little,
guy like yourself.
Little that's like wearing the jersey over the dress shirt, like I'm sitting in the David Gruber row right there at Pfizer Forum.
Are we not going to a Marquette game or not? I thought a sweater vest was required at some point.
Well, those guys, if you're wearing a vest, yeah.
I thought I had to have a couple of collars popped.
So far, I've only been mostly doing the T-shirt under the crew neck.
I love it.
You have to with the gold.
I love it. Yeah, so the NIL store, you got to kind of hunt for it, but you can find Alicia Beers.
Kind of cool.
Shout out.
Ellie Beers, her collection. So, yeah, you got to just decide what's the coolest look.
And it's also a Wisconsin girl playing for a Wisconsin school. Like that's the other part. We get to support a young lady from Slinger, Wisconsin. Come on, right back into the economy.
Makes it a lot better. It's a hometown, hometown girl. So
she's gonna be able to buy the Slinger Speedway if she's got that kind of name.
I hope she's
through the 4 years, if she all of a sudden becomes a dog, that's gonna be a hard thing to top.
I hope she is. When you're
Armen, how many Marquette volleyball games do you frequent as the most distinguished Marquette alum in the area?
Not enough. It's been way too long. Although I was one of the voices for their streams in 2013, so I give myself a little bit of credit there. I called some of those games.
You were the former voice of women's volleyball.
I said one of the voices. I wasn't, but I haven't.
John
really
Adias Jr.
Yeah, well, no, he's at levels above. Levels.
Just not nearly as good looking.
Levels.
But I got to go to some games. I got to go to some more because I do love the game of volleyball. It's a burgeoningly popular sport. I have a young.
I was going to say, I think you have a young daughter that would very much appreciate watching.
Yeah, you need
games.
to take her to some women's games.
Basketball for sure, and women's basketball for sure. Very, very easy. Very great experience if you're looking to watch some live sports action. Really easy to get down to the Al McGuire Center. You park, boop, you're right inside. And I know tickets are never expensive. It's always a fun experience for kids. They're always handing out balls and posters and stuff like that. So I got to get down there and check out this young Marquette squad, run some backslides and see some creative offense because they're really good. They've been going to tournaments for a while now. We know what Wisconsin
is that the offensive formation is a backslide?
Backslides, that's a creative, that's a creative attack. Where the setter's, faking front and setting back and the middle's sliding back behind it. It's hard to defend that if you get it going right. So that's a popular one. If you have an athletic middle, you can do that.
Yeah. Well played. This volleyball portion.
Yeah. How about that? We're breaking it down.
Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Who's hot and who's not? Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years.
They're hot.
They're hot.
Mm-hmm. Not everybody that had to listen to Armen's breakdown of the offense and defensive strategies on volleyball, but who was also potentially hot yesterday were the Chicago White Sox because they finally had a lead with 3 runs and finally closed one out against the Cubs, win one game against the Northsiders in that crosstown series, and give the Brewers a little bit of a reprieve and a little bit of a break. Braves also lost against the Twins last night. So the Brewers, no harm, no foul in that loss. You don't really lose any ground in that.
Yes, you don't, but it's like you look at it that way, and that makes the day-to-day, I don't know.
It's the great duality of it because
big picture, you got to get to where you're going to get, right? It doesn't really matter what happens if it coincides or not. Just win games.
But I'm watching it, and I'm like,
you can't help but look at it that way.
Because then immediately I'm like, all right, sweet, you didn't lose any ground. And then you think back, you're like, well, dang, you also didn't gain any ground.
Yes.
You didn't gain ground. Are we trying to win the race? Or are we trying to all be as slow as possible, plodding through?
And you can only control what you can control, which is your game. So win your game. And then, and we always say, win the series. So today becomes pivotal.
No, big time.
Just if you win, if the Brewers win every series the rest of the year, they're going to be the top seed.
Yeah, they're going to be the top seed, the division champions, and have everything rolling through here. And if you grab your season tickets, you'll have access to all the preseason games or the postseason games. How about this one in the not category on both sides of the game that was in Pittsburgh yesterday? Paul Skeens, we've mentioned it quite a few times.
Everybody is.
Rough, to say the least, yesterday. Once again, my man Andrew Filipponi, who does afternoons in Pittsburgh, has called him Pedestrian Paul. And he was once again Pedestrian Paul yesterday. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks for Paul Skeens, and his ERA now nears a full 4. But in the not category as well in the game was a guy that I was wondering why there wasn't more smoke about during the trade deadline season. The Detroit Tigers traded 2 star pitchers in Casey Mize, former #1 overall pick, and Tarek Skubal, twice a Cy Young Award winner. One guy on their roster and on their pitching staff, Drew, who's potentially a future Hall of Famer, and I say potentially because I don't know exactly where closers fall in here and how hard it is or not hard to get in. Kenley Jansen.
Oh.
He's an interesting name, somebody that got on the all-time saves list a lot higher than people might think with the Tigers. He blew his 5th save yesterday and shows exactly why he was not one of the folks that people were looking at acquiring during the deadline, as he gave up 2 runs, 2 earnies, right away on 2 quick hits, did strike out 1, but a pair of bombs as the Pirates win yesterday and come back to win 4-3. So Pedestrian Paul gets saved because the guy that I was wondering why nobody's talking about at the trade deadline, Kenley Jansen,
love it,
apparently can't do his job. Of closing
he's
out games.
Frustrating Tigers fans, no question.
The Baltimore Orioles were hot, but for a different reason. They're hot, upset about that foul ball call, thinking that homer was fair, and now they want
off the bat of Pete Alonso in the 7th inning. Would have been his second tater of the game as he homered earlier in the night. Would have been his 30th on the year and put him up 4-3.
And they would have probably won the game. So we don't know, but they ended up losing. And what do you guys think? Should we review foul ball calls down the line? Foul poles? Can we put a laser up or an AI up?
It is amazing that they can't do what tennis does or something like they can. The boundary calls, because that's when replay was first introduced in baseball. That's what they were, boundary calls, the lines, and
that was the only thing you were allowed to review, right?
That was totally it.
Well, and I like the Orioles broadcast team. They're like, they're going to need to extend those foul poles if Pete's going to play here for another 4 years. They signed him for a 5-year contract, so he's going to be there. But I did laugh at that. I'm like, no, I think we have some technology that might be able to help you with that one. I mean, if they can put the pylon cam and know exactly where the ball crosses in the NFL over, they might have the exact same technology to be able to do it with. But then again, then we wouldn't have had them freaking out on the field yesterday, and that would have robbed us of a great moment. And a lot of good television and a lot of good frustration on the screen. So I do enjoy watching teams melt down when the call doesn't go their way, and that would have taken away that one. Also in the
that's true,
potentially not category, a lot of people thought the Bucks were going to be grabbing Armen, your boy Peyton Watson.
Yeah, they were in the mix according to that article. Yeah,
they were apparently very much in the mix, but the guard from the Denver Nuggets goes way of Cleveland instead. They send out Max Strus, who apparently nobody wanted, and most importantly, Cleveland didn't want. They were trying to trade him all over the place. So the Bucks are kind of the team they are right now, and they've split up, and I was just scouting out. Might be a hot idea to get some Bucks season tickets coming up this year.
Might be a good time to do it.
Should we go in and should we have a consortium?
Might be a good idea. I don't know. Might be a good idea. I was looking at the green and the cream package for the 20 games. I don't know. I can make 40. I think 20 might be a suitable option.
This might be a renaissance for the quote unquote real Bucks fans.
I mean, if we were going to talk about, would you take a decade of losing for one title? This is put your money where your mouth is.
Thank you. This is put your money where your mouth is. This is the embodiment of it. Now prove us wrong. Say you would do it. Say you're good with it.
Well, and I will let you know if ultimately I pull this trigger. We will see.
Should we pool our resources and split a package?
I don't think it's a terrible idea. Also might be a fun thing.
Go to the game. Yeah, we could all go to the game.
We could all go to the games. Might be a good thing for us to be able to potentially, I don't know all the rules and legalities they can tell us in Thailand, but it might be a good thing for our listeners if we had some ways for them to enjoy some tickets for the game.
Cool.
All right. I mean, it might be a nice little idea. We could find some ways.
We could buy a 4-pack and then take some listeners along.
Take some listeners to some games. I don't know. Thinking it out.
Not your worst idea.
I'll tell you, the deals are a lot better than I had anticipated they might be. They're fine. They're trying to get people in, Drew, and they might have to get a little creative coming up this season.
That's right. Hey, while we were looking at, the Marquette store and the Spirit store and Alicia Beers, speaking of deals, ironjoc.com. Now through September 8th, 40% off gear that works for you. Use the code LABOR40, 40% off all gear with a $50 purchase. Excludes gift cards and clearance. But check out Paulie Hansen's always got deals. The website's always popping at ironjoc.com. But 40% off gear. Stock up for fall. Get your hoodies. Get your quarter zips.
The quarter zips, and you guys mentioned the jackets the other day.
Nice.
Those lightweight jackets, winners.
Really nice.
But the gear is so comfortable and lightweight, you will actually feel like doing some manual labor.
True.
You'll feel like, you know what? I actually want to sweat in this thing to put it to test.
It'll inspire you.
I might even move some rock today. Why not?
Even got he's got the navy shorts available now too, which is a new.
Those are cool.
Black and gray.
Yes.
Add to the wardrobe. So check it all out at ironjoc.com. When we come back, Hunter Baumgardt joins the party. We'll talk Brewers. Ask him about the rookies and last night and the weirdness that is this weekend with these day games leading into Williamsport on Sunday night. Hunter's next. You're in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on a Thursday. Brewers and Mariners today at 1 o'clock. And, I know who will be there. I'll be there. So will Hunter Baumgardt, who joins us now. Good morning, Hunter.
Good morning, guys. Yes, series finale. Brewers trying to go for the series win again after a 7-5 loss last night.
We've been talking about that loss, and one of the things that popped up was those crucial at-bats by Cooper Pratt and Luis Lara, and it made me think, is that a preview of the playoffs? I'm not being a naysayer, but that's a question, isn't it, Hunter?
I think so, and I think it's good that they're getting the experience of these at-bats right now. You know, we've seen Lara in that situation. We've seen Pratt in that situation, and Pratt has come through. Murph made sure to mention that last night at some point, but and Lara had a good at-bat later in the game as well to get on base. But unfortunately, last night, it did show the youth of both of them. And obviously, Cooper Pratt was coming off 10 days off. So you're obviously going to have a little bit of rust when he returns. And Murphy said to us before the game yesterday that he's not going to be at his best, but we know he's ready. And so he'll kind of reacclimate himself. And so the Cooper Pratt you see this week might be a little worse than what you see next week. But of course, he is one of their better players. So you want him on the field. But you are going to have this learning curve, and that kind of brings up why getting Sal Frelick, a guy who's been there, done that, who's been in the postseason many times, as tough of a year as he has had offensively. You want that guy on your squad, you want that guy on your roster, and you want that guy playing in September and October, and that's why they're making sure that he is going to be as healthy as can be when he comes back.
So that is it, more of a slow play on getting him back, because as Cooper Pratt, I think, it sounded like he had his first at bat at high A. He's like, all right, sweet, I'll see you guys later. I got Qdoba in the break room. I'm gonna get up out of here and I'm gonna go play major league games again. Sal, it's a little bit more of a slow roll. Now, obviously, he was out a little longer. Some question with the shoulder. Is there any, does it take you aback as to he comes back with the team, hangs out, works out? Now we're going back out on a rehab stint. Is it just a delayed process to make sure he's at his full best ability when he comes back, or we want to give Luis Lara another week of major league at bats before we send him back down over Nashville way?
I think it's mostly just wanting Sale to be as healthy as possible, but also wanting Sale to get some confidence at the plate and maybe tweak some things that he wasn't doing in the first half of the season that he can bring into the stretch run. I think there's kind of when Sale Frelick went out on this rehab assignment, Pat Murphy said he's going on this rehab assignment for longer than maybe usual for two reasons. One is when he first went on the rehab assignment, he couldn't play the outfield and throw quite yet. He was still ramping up his throwing, so he was the DH for the first handful of games down in Nashville. And then the second part of it, he's like, we want his offense to be closer to the production that he had last year instead of what he's been doing this year. And so I think that combination has led to a longer rehab assignment. He was in Milwaukee on Tuesday to work out with the Major League Club. Pat Murphy said he met with him for a while. And one of the things that came up in that meeting was, look, we want you to be as healthy as can be when you come back. Pat Murphy said, this is your career at stake. I know you love playing through injury. I know you love playing through whatever's ailing you, but this is something we want to take care of so then it's not more of a serious issue. I mean, look, you don't want an injury to your throwing shoulder. That's not good, especially obviously when you're using that in the outfield and how good that arm can be and the Gold Glove defense that he is able to play out there. So I think that those two reasons are the reasons why he's out there in Norfolk, Virginia right now with the Sounds. He was 2 for 5 last night with a home run, although that exit velocity was 87 miles an hour on the home run, which is, I feel like, the Sal Frelick thing to
classic
do.
Salvatore.
It went over the fence though. His OPS is 968 and 27 at bats down there in Nashville. The offense is coming along and you like that. Obviously it's AAA. We'll see what he does at the major league level. Right now, they just want to see him play last night, play tonight, have some rigorous throws on the arm. Okay. And then how does he bounce back? I think we could even see him tomorrow if he bounces back well on Friday or Saturday. I think the earliest you could see him is tomorrow. I would guess maybe more Saturday. Maybe they say, okay, you played last night, you played tonight, and then see how he is on Friday. Maybe activate him Saturday. We'll see. He could be back pretty soon, but they just want to make sure that shoulder is in good shape and can bounce back well.
You think they need his juice back a little bit too? I mean, you think they need his energy? I mean, this is a good ball club. Obviously, they've been playing well. They're still winning games, but they're kind of, it's been a slog through these dog days and the injuries and things like that. And Sal brings that unexplainable, unmatchable kind of juice and energy that everyone loves. I can't imagine that would also not be a great little sauce for this ingredient here as well for the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, and Jake Bowers calls him the heartbeat of the team, and when you lose that for a month, that's going to impact a little bit. Obviously, they've still played pretty good baseball overall, but I think that's a really good point. I also think, it's interesting because Luis Lara, who's obviously filled in for him more than anybody, kind of brings that juice too. He's kind of a similar that similar kind of energy out there, right? That really lets his emotions, his emotions are on his sleeve, whether it's in the batter's box. We saw that last night on the 3-pitch strikeout, right? And Pat Murphy said it after the game that he kind of let that strike call early in the at bat kind of affect him. And not that Sal Freeling necessarily does that, but he wears his emotions on his sleeve at times. And I think Luis Lara can really fire up the team. I think obviously the catches against the Twins, a week and a half ago were big, and that was kind of Sal-like and getting the crowd into it and everything like that. So I think it will be big, though, because he's one of the leaders. He's one of the, as we think of him maybe as a young player, but he's getting to be one of the veterans, so to speak, on this team, especially in the position player group. And that is key. And I think he's a big part of what happens in that clubhouse. And I think you want that guy on your team down the stretch.
All right, Hunter, you're entering a stretch here where the Brewers, it's almost Cubs-like, 3-day games in a row. Very weird. Tomorrow at 3:10 with Miz against Sale. That's destination pitcher nerds. And then 1 o'clock Saturday is the rarest of the rare for the Brewers. They almost never play 1 o'clock Saturday games.
Wild.
They like the 6 p.m. starts on Saturday, but it's also a Saturday getaway game because both teams are flying to Williamsport. Do you have FOMO of not going to Williamsport on Sunday, or what's this going to lay out like? And it seems strange. Like, how are they going to handle this? It's just a little jarring stretch of schedule here.
It is. It's definitely strange. It's going to be weird to cover that game on Saturday and not have a game to cover on Sunday. That never happens. I'm not. Yeah. I'll look. I'm excited to kind of see what the scene looks like. Obviously, we'll take it in on the television broadcast. I know, Billy, you mentioned yesterday, Sunday Night Baseball. They're finally on Sunday Night Baseball. It's
it's nice. Finally get there. All you did was use our entire house for your sweet video that you shot with Zach Brown Band. Nice of you to actually put it on the stupid channel.
That's a good point. Yeah,
exactly.
It's good enough in February.
well, that's the thing too. They're not even on the official Sunday Night Baseball broadcast because ESPN doesn't even have it anymore. So that's NBC does, and you're going to get that in September. The finale of the Baltimore series is a Sunday Night Baseball game, I believe, in September. But otherwise, this is back on ESPN. It's going to be, Carl Ravitch on the call, the let go Carl Ravitch, which is, all strange.
The laid off Carl Ravitch. I already rolled the 7 Carl Ravitch. Yep. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. So it's going to be cool. I think the players are looking forward to it. It's Pat Murphy said yesterday, it's a little strange. We'll hear full Pat Murphy comments on it coming up tonight on Milwaukee Baseball Tonight. We'll kind of get into the logistics of it, but I think it's going to be pretty neat. I think it's going to be a neat experience for the Brewers. Obviously, look, these games against the Braves are going to be key. You want to grab the season series if you can. The Braves are one of the teams that you're competing with. Braves have not been playing well. Just got swept in Minnesota, I believe. So maybe that helps you coming into this weekend, or you can say, well, they're due to win a game, so that could not help you, whatever it is. But the Brewers will be the home team on Sunday as well. So that'll be, they'll get to bat in the bottom of each inning, even though it is in Williamsport. So that's how that shakes out. But it is going to be strange. 1:10 today, 3:10 tomorrow, 1:10 on Saturday. It's gonna. What I do like though is that you get Miz on Friday and Henderson on Saturday, both in front of the home crowd.
That's
big one.
Cool.
And now that leads into, I got 2 quick ones here. One, do we know if any of the Brewers players made it to Williamsport as players? Is this a group of any of them got anywhere close? Todd Frazier's one of the only ones that I remember. Jason Bay back in the day, he was a legend in the Little League World Series. I'd wonder if how close any of them got, or if they thought that
Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger was a part of it, but I'd wonder how close any of them were. And Drew and I were just conversing this during the break, because you're spot on. Friday and Saturday, huge gates. Saturday might be the game of the year with the Hank Aaron replica jersey, but it's Chris Sale against Jacob Mizorowski coming up on Friday. There's nothing like juice in the ballpark, Hunter. But from the baseball viewing pleasure, from getting to actually see how disgustingly good both of these pitchers are, Chris Sale's ticketed for the Hall of Fame, right? He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. And Miz is starting out what that would look like in a career. Is it better to watch it on TV or in section 228? Is it better to see where the ball and how crazy it's moving, the sheer velocity, or to actually feel it in the ballpark?
Yeah, my message to you throughout the season, my message to any fan is when Miz pitches, just get to a game that Miz pitches, because it just is, it's electric. It's not just because obviously you can see what he does in the mound, but the atmosphere at those games and the something special that you could see. You never know what Miz is going to do on the mound. Is that going to be the night that he's able to get through a no-hitter or who knows? Like at some point he's probably going to pitch one of those. And is that the game it is? And they have the great scoreboard up in right field that you can see all the velocities and you can see what type of pitch it was and see how fast he's throwing it. Like that's all still there for you. Even if you're looking, even if you're looking for that, you can still sit in those sections and be able to, in any section, and be able to see that scoreboard in right field. And Miz said recently that he peeks up there sometimes. So everybody's looking at it, including the pitcher himself. But get to the ballpark if you can. This last, there's not going to be a ton of chances to see Miz the rest of the season. There's probably going to be maybe 3. Who knows how it all lines up? They have a lot of road games here the rest of the way. So make sure that you're getting to the park to see him.
What you said about Miz Hunter is what I told people early in Giannis's career. Just go see him.
Yes.
You can tell your grandkids you saw him play. And then the thing with Miz is if you're between the dugouts and section in the 100s, in the field level, you can get a pretty good idea of how fast that it looks way more impressive.
It's a little different than every other pitcher.
But up in the 200s or in the bleachers, it kind of looks like every other pitcher. But the thing is with Miz, Brewers fans notoriously like to tailgate and linger in the parking lots and arrive late.
Get in.
With Miz, whatever fans are there, when he walks from the dugout to the bullpen to go warm up, he gets he puts juice in a building. Like they start to cheer there, already when he's going out to warm up. You get that in other cities, you get that during the playoffs, but to have that in the regular season is cool.
100%. And the velocity is usually higher in the first inning than any other inning. Usually, I mean, obviously he can reach back at some points if there's a big at bat or something, but those numbers usually pop, especially in that first inning. And he's playing the Braves, and we all know how he kind of gets amped up for these bigger opponents, and you can see some of that velocity be pretty high possibly tomorrow.
Hunter, really quick, we haven't really talked about this, and I wanted to say it for you. Something I couldn't shake last night. What did you make of Murph pregame? I think it was pregame, really saying, I don't think we've played that great, and I don't think this team has gelled yet. It kind of took me by surprise a bit. I mean, obviously, we know what this team has done record-wise on the field, and I know Murphy is the master of psychology in that sense sometimes with his players. Do you think there's an aspect of, not wanting these guys to get too high on their horse, or do you think he's really seen it like we haven't gotten the whole undaunted power of friendship that we had in years past, but they won a lot of games and they've been the best team in baseball most of this time? What did you make of that? And were you surprised to hear him talk like that?
I'm not super surprised. He said that before, and I think this maybe made a little bit more headlines just because where they sit right now. And at the time, they're 30 games over 500. Now they're 29 games over 500, best record in ball. You usually don't hear that from that type of manager. But 2 things with it. I was a little surprised that he said that they hadn't gelled yet, because I feel like this team is pretty together. However, even, it's interesting because they had that win over the Twins in that finale, and it seemed like that was kind of the team win of the year. But then they go and get swept by the Padres. Like it felt like this was the best way you could go into a West Coast trip, and then it kind of went back down. They just have not had, and maybe that's kind of what he meant. Like that was a possibility for them to gel, and it just didn't quite manifest itself. But to be honest, I kind of agree with it. Like we're watching, like they're finding ways to win, but this is not like last year where you had winning streak after winning streak and they were dominating and they're getting to that, that 97 win total. They may get close to that again this year. We'll see how the last 35 games go, and it's not like they have to have a crazy record to do it, right?
Right.
Gonna need,
I just did the math. With 35 games left, the wheels could come off. They could go 12-23, which would be a brutal stretch, and win 90 games.
Yeah,
it is weird. I wonder if it's mostly us and just winnings become more ordinary. I don't know, but I kind of get what you mean.
It is.
Yeah.
The only teams in the league right now that are playing good are the Padres and Dodgers. And they're both 7-3 in their last 10, and the Mets, who suck and are 7-3.
I was going to say, in the Mets,
and the Dodgers are 7-3. Who'd they lose the 3 to? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your Milwaukee Brewers.
Or maybe it's because, long winning streaks help that kind of feeling and that memory of it. Like last year they had the web streak and all that, and we've just been winning a lot. This year.
But and you look at like their best players, though, to Murph's point, their best guys have not really all ever gotten hot consistently together.
They're not hitting
You haven't seen a Churio and Terang in sync run. You haven't
Terang, Contreras, and Yelich.
Right. And now if that rolls through in the midst of September, sweet, we're going to have a different kind of October, and Hunter's going to be very, very busy throughout October. But I liked him saying it because it definitely made me feel not as elitist as I think Armen was saying. Like, winning hasn't just desensitized to us of the process, but they haven't looked that great throughout it.
You're right. And Hunter is double dipping today. He'll be at the ballpark, and then Milwaukee's baseball tonight, which is a post-game show and a look ahead to the big series against the Braves. You got a lot on your plate, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Absolutely. 6:00 tonight, wherever you're watching or listening. If you want to listen, Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee. We'll look back at the series finale, look ahead to the weekend. I'll leave you with this stat. Joey Ortiz, before Pratt's debut, hit 207. Since Pratt's debut, 302. It's been one home run before his debut, 6 home runs since. OPS 561 beforehand, 860 since. It's just mind-boggling.
It's crazy. He just sees a different angle at third base, and it changes his whole.
You and the guy that she tells you not to worry about.
Exactly.
Goodness gracious, 2 different cats, right?
Thanks, Hunter.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back to close up shop. Waking and Bacon. Happy Place Hemp. That's next. You're in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to shut this thing down for the day and go about our Thursdays. Brewers Mariners today at 1 o'clock, American Family Field. I'll be at the ballpark today, taking in the game.
Let's go. Are we working or enjoying?
I am both.
Well, both. Okay, I like that. Yes, I like
We're
that. Let's
hanging out,
ride. Come on
sure.
now.
Now, time for a little Waking and Bacon, brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping on the best CBD products known to man. Rob and Chris working in Muskego.
The best
Drip
kind of
seltzer,
guys.
gummies, muscle creams. I know people who have had some back problems and stuff. Use the muscle cream, swear by it. Knees, joints, whatever you got that ails you, check out their array of products. Use the code HUDDLE. Get your discount and your free shipping, or stop and see the guys at the store just off College Ave.
It's the right way to go, and College Avenue was bumping yesterday across the street. Man, his place was live in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And then everybody walked on over to Happy Place Hemp and enjoyed throughout. It's a great place and the place to be hanging out and talking some sports with the guys. They'll enjoy it. Now, they might enjoy this story as well. You know, sometimes they say you really got to fully acclimate yourself and assimilate yourself into the culture. Put yourself there and just immerse yourself in your new place.
Yeah.
Well, head coach of Oklahoma State Cowboys, Eric Morris, is doing just that, Drew. Said recently in an interview in a press conference that he shot and killed an armadillo for damaging his yard. Just in the midst of the press conference, Morris had to let everybody know the former North Texas coach was hired to revive the struggling Stillwater program and described his overnight encounter with the mammal during a session with reporters this week. Quote, "My brain's going constantly, so I don't sleep very well."
Jeez.
Told the folks on Tuesday. I've had a couple armadillo problems tearing up my yard. Finally, a couple days ago, I just popped up 2:30 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. And I finally had a great opportunity for me to go outside, and luckily I found him. It was my first encounter with an armadillo for Morris in Oklahoma. Said it was crushing my yard, my flower beds, digging everything up. Morris said he made quick work of the animal.
Made quick work.
And gave new meaning to, quote, pistols firing, the popular slogan in Manchester for Oklahoma State fans. They put the pistols up and fire. He said, I had to send a text message to my neighbors and apologize for the gunshot. I am in the country, so it's legal.
I was going to say,
but I had to get rid of them.
Can you shoot a nuisance armadillo in the country in Oklahoma? You probably can. It's Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma. Yeah. I mean, Stillwater, Oklahoma. Might as well just go out there and do just about anything.
You can endear yourself to people.
But just want to let everybody know, I'm about as Oklahoma as it gets now. I'm shooting armadillos in my driveway. All right, I'm taking care of my problems. I read this, and this comes through across as the ESPN alert, and it goes, Oklahoma State coach Eric Morris shoots and kills, and I drop my phone like, Jesus. An armadillo. Okay. All right. Just trying to make friends and just trying to make himself the talk of the Big 12. That's a heck of a way to welcome yourself in. Talk about mean green of Texas. They're bringing a mean streak over there to Oklahoma State.
And those armadillos can dig up a lot of nasty holes. We don't have them around here really, but you see about the videos on the internet, which I have. You know.
Another rabbit hole for Armen. All right, tomorrow we'll be talking about Brewers Mariners. We'll be getting ready for Packers Broncos. Who's going to play, who's going to sit. We'll talk about all that stuff and get ready for a big weekend against the Braves, both here and in Williamsport.
And I think we're going to have a join from the Mile Get High City, potentially from Wayne Larrabee.
That will be awesome. We'll see you at 5 a.m.
Peace.